We'll work it out.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing excellent, man. How you doing?
I am having a day, you know. I was up streaming till 3 a.m., so I'm back at it again.
Dude, you're a warrior. Just killing it.
Um yeah, I'm trying.
Alright.
Sometimes the Spire is killing me recently, but
Alright, so you still want to do a squad?
Yeah. Let me you set up the stream share with me and I'll send an invite to squad stream. Oh, you already did it. Well, I will accept then. Don't know. So Vigil is you can jump in if I'm doing a bad job of introducing you, but Vigil is a long-term streamer, been streaming for like 5 years, I think, and with like a schedule and more seriously for the last couple of years as well. He's a recent addition to Team F2K. He plays Hearthstone and Overwatch, and he plays Magic the Gathering, not on stream, but like IRL as well quite a bit. So he's got some background in games sort of like Slay the Spire. And we're just gonna do some like super chill tutorialized intros, sort of Slay the Spiring, just hang out and talk about games and music too, because Vigil is the lead singer of the Ghost Inside. So he's like a better singer than me.
Well, singer is a very loose word. I do sing a tiny bit, but I mostly just yell really loud.
Better
So
a better yeller than me too. I'm not a great
better
yeller.
yeller than anything.
I was gonna
I think
ask, like, how do you get taught to yell? Because they didn't have that class in high school for me.
um, you don't really get taught. You have to figure out a technique to where you can sustain uh, being able to scream on the road and not completely destroy your voice. It's taken a lot of time, a lot of years, and a lot of practice to get to the point where you know we were at. So
I believe that 100%. I have a friend who did some. Well, he still does some music. He's more into like blues type stuff now, but he started in some like metal. Tentacles of Destruction was his band name, I believe. And he told me stories about their singer just like absolutely losing it. Like so much stress on your voice and vocals to be, well, yelling, right?
yeah, it's kind of rough sometimes to balance out, because with the sickness on the road, like with any singer, but screaming adds a little bit more strain on your voice than screaming does or than singing does. So it's all about technique, honestly. It's all about just kind of learning what your boundaries are and where you are with, you know, um, pushing yourself to the limits, without going too far that you're gonna cause damage to yourself, because it's not something that you can really teach. It's not like you take a choir class, you take a singing class, you're able to learn techniques, and a lot of the breathing stuff applies to screaming, but it's just an entirely different technique.
That makes sense. Is it something that will wear you out if you practice it?
uh no, I don't think so. i
Okay.
think I think you have to just practice it.
Yeah.
I think you
That
have
makes sense.
to get to a point. I mean, everybody's different, but for me, the way that it works the best for me is I spend a couple days kind of getting my voice conditioned, and I kind of lose my voice before it comes back, and then when it comes back, then I'm able to kind of go the distance with it.
What's the best song to play for my chat so they know what you sound like?
Oh man. Well, let me ask my chat, what do you guys think would be the best song to show first time Ghost Inside listeners? I mean, I would say probably Dark Horse is the most wide appealing. It's not necessarily for everybody, obviously, this style of music, but it's got a lot of melody in it. It's got a few singing parts, and it's the most uh, I don't want to say mainstream, but it's the most easily digestible song, I think.
Okay, I listened to a bit. Do you ever do you ever scream on stream like when you're really getting into a Hearthstone match or something? You just start going off.
No, no chance to do that.
No, okay. You're a very you're a very like calm and soothing and very level-headed seeming streamer. I haven't watched a ton of your stream, but it just like seems like a very chill place to hang out.
Yeah, I don't get too worked up. I mean, there's obviously times where the salt kicks in. And it's like undeniable, and it's hard to not get upset. Um, but for the most part, it's I just realized that at the end of the day, it's a game, and I shouldn't get too sad because there's going to be times where bad beats happen, or you draw terribly, or a team is better than you in like Overwatch or something. So it's you can't let it get to you all the time.
Yeah, you win some, lose some. All right, so
All right, let me try and share it.
oh,
I joined Discord Nitro, so I should be able to share it at 1080, but it wasn't doing it before. So let me
okay,
try it again.
go ahead. So I am Jorbs or Steven. I played piano as a kid, and then bass trombone in the jazz band, and then I learned guitar in college. So I have had a very like, I feel like it's a very like English colonies sort of musical upbringing, like classical piano lessons and then music at high school, and then you learn guitar. Um, I really enjoy all sorts of music. I do some like streams where we listen to a variety of music, and I've been checking out some of the Ghost Inside. It's really cool that you're performing in June to 8,000 people. That's sort of crazy to me. Sometimes I try to imagine what it'd be like to visualize all of my viewers in like a stadium, like actually around me, because it's a very different atmosphere, I imagine, right?
Yeah, it's crazy to think about, man. Because for me, playing shows, you see the gradual rise of the band and the popularity and the fan base, and it didn't obviously start anywhere near that. Like I remember what it's like to play shows and to go on tour and to play for 10 people in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I know what it's like to be in that situation. And then now that we've taken some time off because of the accident, but we're coming back, and to visualize what 8,000 people is going to be like is it's crazy. Because we've played a few festivals with you know as many people, if not some a few more than that, but we've never played our own show for that many people. I think the biggest show we ever played was in Germany for, I think, like 3,000. So I'm trying to imagine what 2.5 times that is, which is crazy, man. But yeah, I just wanted to give my stream an intro to you, because I know that you gave me one on your stream, and I appreciate that. What's up, Jorbs stream? For those of you that don't know, Jorbs is a streamer. He streams Slay the Spire, and he's on Fade to Karma, and his streams are awesome, and they're really informative, and it's like you can watch the stream and learn how to play. And I've gone back in the catalog and try to learn what the right picks are and what the right plays are, and it's still getting there. He has a music background, like he was saying earlier. He learned all different instruments, and he's got a leg up on me on that, because I can't play a single instrument. I can barely even hold a
Oh
guitar,
wow.
let alone play a guitar. So yeah, it's cool. He made this stream happen, and it's awesome. It's a very cool thing for him to reach out to do this and help me out, and get a little more exposure. So I appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you.
Yeah. You want to play some Slay the Spire? I figured we'd just like I'll give you like some basic tips, but in general I'll let you sort of do the stuff and we'll just hang out.
Sure, sounds good.
More like hanging out with friends and playing a video game than like a university lecture sort of thing.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good. It's still not coming up in 1080. I don't know why. I clicked
It
1080. I don't. Is it not showing that way for you?
it looks fine on my stream. I wouldn't worry about
Let me try one more time. Hold on.
it. I have some nice guitar tutorials on YouTube. Oh god. I have videos of me from like 10 years ago playing guitar. I think I had a cat sitting on my shoulder for one of them. It's a good vid.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing in 1080. That's annoying, man. I'm sorry. I paid for Nitro, so it should be showing in 1080, but it's definitely not.
I I got absolutely nothing. As long as the audio works and the video is viewable, I'm pretty happy with screen sharing for a live show. Like, there are so many things that can go wrong whenever you have not one but two people trying to plug their computers into the internet and then talk to each other live, right? Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it at all. Seems fine.
All right, cool. Let me just yeah, let's get into it.
All right. Who's
So
your
I
oh,
do standard, right? Or daily climb?
it's not updating at all. Are you hmm. Oh, there it goes. Okay. We probably want to do standard, and you can pick which class you want. This is concerning.
So that should be good to go. Okay, cool. Finally
There
good
it
to
is.
go.
Okay. Yeah.
So daily climb or standard? What do you think?
Do a standard run, and whichever class you would prefer. We've got like the warrior, the rogue, and the abacus. I feel like the defect is like a I don't know. It doesn't really fit. I guess it's trying to be a mage. A little
Okay,
bit.
so my first when I first started playing this game, uh the defect didn't exist. It was just the rogue and the warrior.
Yep.
And I always felt like the warrior was a little better just because you draw two cards. I don't know if the healing is more
Oh, I'm
important.
saying Ironclad is warrior, by the way, and Silent
Yeah,
is more
yeah,
like rogue.
yeah. I figured. What do you think is a better starting class?
Ironclad's simpler. Um, okay, so Ironclad lets you do really strong things, and the cards by themselves are pretty basic, but they have a couple of different ways that they can fit together to do something really strong. Silent is more complicated. I always say that Silent feels like playing chess, and Ironclad feels like getting drunk and jumping off a balcony. So whichever of those two sound more appealing to you. That's really how the playstyles feel. They're very different
Okay.
to me.
Well, I don't drink, so I don't know if drinking and
Do
falling off a
you jump
balcony
off
sounds like
balconies though? Because
I
I
do. I
imagine
do.
doing that sober feels similar to doing it drunk.
Okay, let's go Ironclad then.
All right.
Okay,
So
so
yeah.
enemies in your next three combats have 1 HP, so they're one hit kills basically, right?
Hmm.
Or max HP plus 8. I feel like having the permanent stat buff is better than just 1 HP for 3 rounds.
Yeah, I'll tell you some really general stuff about Act 1. In Act 1, click on the map in the top right. So in Act 1, you're basically starting off with a very weak deck, but the enemies aren't very challenging and you have full health right now. And Act 1's largely about spending your health to make your deck stronger. So you want to go to a few fights and as many elite fights as you can usually. You've got to just judge, like, you don't want to do so much that you die, but you're trying to pretty aggressively turn your health into upgrades for your deck so that you'll be ready for the next act and for the boss fight at the end of Act 1 as well. Um, so you want to like pick up some damage and start fighting elites is basically the super normal thing to do for Act 1. If you have a path which lets you get one hit point fights against elites, that can be pretty interesting. So if you could get to an elite fight without three hallway fights in the way, but I don't see a way you can do that here.
Would the question mark ever be an elite fight or no?
The question mark is a hallway fight 20% of the time the first time you go, and then 30% the next time you go to a question mark if you didn't get one the last time, and then 40% if you haven't had one yet. So if you go to 3 question marks in a row, you'll get a hallway fight like about half the time ish, something like that, out of those 3. They can't be an elite fight. That's not true. Yeah, they can't be an elite fight. Learning exactly what all the question marks are takes a while. In general, in Act 1, there are a lot of ways to spend health to make your deck better at question marks. So that's sort of the overarching theme, is that you spend health to make your deck better, and even the events go into that quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd just take the max HP probably and pick some path that has, a couple of elites and maybe a couple of campfires to rest. And campfires mean that if you get unlucky and start taking a bunch of damage early, you can rest and be safe again. Or if you get lucky and get good cards and you're wiping the fights really easily, you can upgrade at the campfires. So they're a chance to make your deck stronger, but they also make your path safer through the act. So yeah, like a couple of campfires, a couple of elites, and then we should be good to go.
Cool. All right, so in the future, you recommend this if there's an elite fight we can do in the first 3?
It's a lot better if you have that. I don't always take it just because there's an elite fight there, but sometimes I will.
Cool. Okay. So you said you think it's best to do as most fights as possible, right? How important are campfires with this class? Because I know with him he heals 6 after every fight, right? So is that something I should be looking out for to try to go with a path that has campfires, or is that not as important as it is to just get enemies in the way?
I think on Ironclad, I'm hoping to rest one time in Act 1, probably. Like, realistically. I'm hoping to not have to rest at all, but realistically, I'm picking a path where it's like, okay, I probably need to rest one set of campfires somewhere in here. And then I'm hoping to get probably 2 or 3 upgrades from campfires as well. So definitely campfires are the floors that are extremely safe and always make your deck better if you don't need to rest. So they are great floors. They're like the second best type of floor usually, assuming that elites are better than them. So it's something like, yeah, get a couple of elites, get 2 or 3 get as many campfires as possible while getting at least a couple of elites. And in terms of fights, like just the regular fights, they give you pretty poor rewards. In Act 1, you can't see upgraded cards, so you're just getting offered like unupgraded common cards for the most part. They're not that exciting. You want to get a few Act 1 regular fights at the start to put in some unupgraded commons that will get you to a point where you're fighting elites, and then after that you don't really want to have them. So it's like first half of the act you want a few fights, maybe a campfire and then an elite fight. Second half of the act you want campfires, elite fights, and question marks, and really nothing else. Maybe a store at some point if it fits the path.
Okay. So what about this route right here? This is 4 enemies, and then a merchant, a campfire, a question, an elite, treasure, question, and then we hit the campfire if we need it, or if we're doing well, we can go to this elite.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like the flexibility. That's awesome. And then you get to choose if you want another elite at the end as well. The only thing I would do is I'd go to the event instead of the fight on the second floor, because I think you only need 3 fights. And actually, the first 3 fights are easier than the rest in terms of the regular fights. The first 3 fights come from an easy enemy pool, and then after that, you get a hard enemy pool. So the 4th fight's going to be potentially significantly harder than the 3rd fight could be.
Okay, so so we can just take him out with just straight up 2 attacks, right?
Yep. And generally, if you can kill one of them, usually it's right to just get one of them dead.
Is it worth? I mean, he's not going to attack. Blocking doesn't have, or defending doesn't have any effect when it's a negative thing, or right? Like it's not going to block that.
Yeah.
So let's kill this slime, and then I guess just another attack, right?
Yep. get to work on the second one. Um, Usually that's how you're gonna want to play this fight. There's an argument for trying to kill the back one. Well, it gets complicated. You could have done 3 strikes at the back one and taken damage, or you could have done a defend and 2 strikes at the back one and just left the front one alive. Because the back one attacks for 8 after frailing you, and it's going to be hard to block it fully. I don't think it matters though. Like,
Does every enemy attack the same amount? Like, is he going to attack 8 every time he attacks, or is it going to change?
I think that he has 2 types of attacks. This is an attack which attacks for 8 and puts a status in your deck, and the other one is an attack that attacks for a little bit more and doesn't put a status in your deck. Usually enemies have like 3 or 4 different moves that they can do, and they choose which ones to do somewhat randomly. But they'll have things like 70% of the time they do this, 30% of the time they do that, so you have like the ability to make a weighted guess about what they're going to do. And they'll also have things which say they can't do the same thing twice in a row, or they can't do the same thing 3 times in a row, so you can predict what they're going to do based on what they've done so far sometimes.
Sure. Okay, so
Generally, like, the basic rule that you can start from for these fights is block as much damage as you can and then deal damage with the rest of your energy. And that's, I think,
okay.
my friend Dolphin Chemist calls it knifey blocky.
Knifey blocky.
Yeah, and that's like the first half of Act 1 is just a lot of blocking the attacks that come in, and then you deal damage with whatever energy you have left. And then as the game goes on, you start to get into a point where there's a bit more flexibility than that usually.
Okay, so I'm taking 2. Oh, and his attack adds a slime to my deck, right? An unplayable slime.
Yep.
And does that go away at the end of combat, or is that
Yeah.
permanently in my deck?
Yeah, there's only one enemy in the game who can put something in your deck permanently. That one's a bit of a jerk, but that's like in Act 3. So you don't have to worry about that persisting.
Okay. So we got 16, so we can just kill him, right? So 6, 12.
And the beautiful thing about broadcasting this game to an audience is if you ever miss that you can do that ever in your entire life, like, everyone will tell you.
They tell you about the misplays.
Yep, missed lethal.
Yeah, that was a few times on Hearthstone, but usually you're able to recover a little bit better. Like, I feel like you get punished pretty hard if you miss, if you're close to killing somebody and then you.
Well, Hearthstone, like, when you move, then your opponents take a turn, and they could do like a bunch of different things and potentially like win the game. Whereas in Slay the Spire, sometimes it's actually right not to kill something when you could, because maybe you have a card in your deck that gives you max HP if you kill the enemy with that card, and so you want to wait and kill it with that card later. Or maybe you have like a relic that goes off every 8 attacks that you play or something, or every 10 attacks that you play, and so you like want to play another 5 attacks this fight so it's ready to go off in the next fight. Sometimes you'll actually deliberately avoid ending the fight. I just take Sword Boomerang here. Like, you're just looking for damage cards early for the most part. The general structure of cards and what they do is that you have cards that deal damage, cards that block, and cards that make your deck stronger as the fight goes on. And early in Act 1, in order to kill the fights and kill the elites and spend your health efficiently, you basically just want to get better at dealing damage. And Sword Boomerang is a little bit better at dealing damage than strikes are.
Sure. Are the ethereal cards ever worth getting? Like, I know it's just a one-time use, right?
How is it? Exhaust is the one-time use, and ethereal is actually you can use it over and over again. But if you don't use it when you draw it, then it will go away at the end of your turn.
Okay, yeah.
Ironclad has like, I worked this out once. I think something like 30% of Ironclad's cards have something to do with exhausting, And some of them do really strong things. Like some of them make you block every time that a card exhausts for the rest of the fight, or draw you a card every time a card exhausts for the rest of the fight, or something like that. And so that's one of the ways that you can build a really strong Ironclad deck, is just pile up those cards and get to a point where they're all interacting with each other in really strong ways.
For sure. Okay. Yeah, I think Sword Boomerang. I mean, three damage to random enemy 3 times. So if there's one enemy, you're doing 9 damage, right?
Yep. And then the real
For
strength of
one,
that,
that's
the real strength of that is if you get a strength scaling card, like if you get a card that gives you +2 strength, all of a sudden you're dealing 5 damage to a random enemy 3 times. So it's the strength scales 3 times as fast for that one as it does for an attack that only deals damage once.
cool. So you were saying that you think going to the unknown is better idea.
Yep, I would say we just don't need that many fights, so take the event. A strange blue humanoid. Do you read stuff out loud? Do you like roleplay on stream? Let me let me know if it's too much info for you. By the way, we don't have to.
No,
Like, this is
no.
good.
Yeah, no. I do read a lot of stuff on the stream. I don't role play, but if you want to role play, my stream would love that. My stream would love
My
to have
stream would
another
love
voice
that
doing that.
too, but I'm not going to.
All right. A strange blue humanoid with a golden helm approaches you with a huge smile. Hello, friend. I am Cleric. Are you interested in my services? The creature shouts loudly. So heal, we don't need because we're at full health. Purify. So pay 50 gold, remove a card from your deck. I don't know how important that is at this point. Is that pretty important?
It's it's not that great right now, but it gets a lot better later. Your strikes get very bad later on in the run, almost always, and so just sort of working on getting rid of as many of them as you can over the course of the run lets you end up with a stronger deck. So I'd like always remove a strike here. And it takes us away from like the idea I've been saying is you need to get better at dealing damage, but now you're removing a damage card, so that's a little bit weird. But strikes are bad damage cards, and they're so bad later in the run that I'd love to take a strike out and then put a better damage card in instead, sort of thing.
Okay. So you think purifying is worth doing right now?
Yeah, for sure. Removing a strike is one of the like anytime I go to a store, it's pretty likely that I'm gonna spend the gold to remove a strike at the store. That's like one of the strongest options,
Just
almost
because you
always.
get better damage dealing later, you said, right?
Yep.
Yeah, look at this.
Also,
9 damage is great.
yeah, yeah. Also, like looking at this turn, it's cool that we can deal damage here, but we don't need to deal damage with 5 cards here. The game is attacking us for 11, and dealing this damage doesn't actually kill the enemy. So in general, there are more turns in the game where you're asked to defend than there are that you have to attack. Um, you want to be able to attack at some point, but in general, most turns, job number 1 is defend the damage incoming, and then job number 2 is work out how to spend the rest of your energy to set yourself up for the rest of the fight, sort of thing. And so having too many attacks gets awkward.
Okay. I mean, there's never a. I mean, you always want to spend your energy, right? Like you shouldn't just throw cards away. Like I should just spend the last strike, right?
Yeah,
Like there's no reason
absolutely.
not.
Absolutely. Sometimes you get a relic that's like if you play 3 or fewer cards per turn, something happens, and so sometimes you end up having a reason to only play a few cards, but right now there's nothing like that going on.
Okay, so he's attacking for 7. I can block 5 or 10, but then I can't do bash. I don't know how important it is to get an attack in. Do you think it's worth blocking all the damage with 2 and then just, or I guess 3, and then
Yeah,
passing, or do you think I should get a bash in and then 1 defense?
I've played 3,000 hours of this game and I don't know either. So, I mean, that's one of the beautiful things about this game. We're on the third floor with the starter deck against an encounter that you fight all the time, and it takes a lot of, like, it just takes a lot of math to work out if you're meant to bash defend or defend here. You can do either. They're pretty similar. I would probably defend. I think on Ascension 20, the enemies have more health and deal more damage. We talked about this a little bit, but like Ascension levels are once you've beaten the game a few times, they'll unlock and you can slowly ascend through the difficulty levels, and the enemies get harder and the events get worse and your character gets worse and stuff like that as you go. And on Ascension 20, you get to a point where I think it's probably bash defend here, because as the fight goes on, you just expect to take a lot of damage. But on Ascension 0, it might be defend because the enemy's not attacking for quite as much. I'm not sure.
Okay, so Jorbs,
Yes.
Mr. Beastimon just donated $10 in this in my stream and said, he just said say dig, and I did, and then he donated again and said, I need to clarify my earlier donation. Can you please tell Jorbs to dig? So I'm telling you to dig right now.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Beastimon.
Mr. Beastimon, thank you for the donations too, man. I very much appreciate that. Okay, so he's blocking for 5. So he's essentially at 27. So 9, 15, 21. So, Bash gives him vulnerable. Vulnerable means they take extra damage.
Yeah, and it rounds down. So Sword
Okay,
Boomerang
so
will deal 4 times 3 instead of 5 times 3.
so do we just get in for 20
I'd go
and
bash
take
defend.
11? Bash defend?
Yeah, I think that sets up to kill next turn probably. You can look at your draw pile here and like plan out the next 2 turns even, because you know those are the 5 cards you're drawing. So you see that, oh well, you'll only be able to deal 18 next turn, but it's probably still fine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. There's some stuff going on with trying to manipulate your draw pile in this game. So how it works is when you're out of cards in your draw pile, you take all the cards in your discard pile and reshuffle them all together to make a new draw pile. So if you played a card draw right now, you would reshuffle a new draw pile without the cards that had been in your hand. And so you can like deliberately play some cards and then play a card draw to make a new draw pile and control what's in the draw pile a little bit.
Okay. So this is you lose life but gain an extra energy. This one is draw a card, put a card from your hand on the top of your draw pile, exhaust. So you kind of just fix your hand, like if you need to block or to draw. Does it always show in order of what cards you're going to draw next? Because I know I saw the 5 that were the next cards, but were they in order of what I was going to draw?
No, it will be random order, so you can't be sure what's next exactly.
Okay. Or deal 2 damage 4 times, exhaust. I think Pummel. Does Pummel seem like the best option? I don't know. That's what I would pick.
Yeah.
That's what I would think to pick.
I think Pummel or Skip are both fine. With Pummel, you now have 2 attacks that are dealing damage multiple times, so any strength score gets really, really good, which is cool, because we're going to a store soon, so probably we'll see something that does that.
Lord Aki says to ask you about archetypes.
Oh. Oh, Lordikai. I think I call him
Lordikai, that's what it is. That's Lordikai. Okay.
Oh, man. Do you have, as a musician, do you have like genres of music, and then people ask you like what genre of music you are, and then they like tell you how you should perform based on that, or say that they understand everything about your music because they know what genre of music you are, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah,
absolutely a thing.
yeah,
People like pigeonhole you and they say, "Oh, you're this." You're like, because we're kind of a mix between metalcore, and like hardcore. So we're like melodic, but it's like, I mean, it all kind of mixes. There's different archetypes, I guess, Lordikai. And yeah, if you say like, "Oh yeah, we're a metalcore band," then they say, "Oh, so you're this band, or you're like this band," and you go, I mean, kind of. Like they'll be like, especially people who don't know the genres very well, like, we'll be like, somebody will find out I'm in a band or whatever in public, and they'll be like, "Oh, what kind of band are you?" I'm like, "Oh, we're like a heavier band, like a kind of screamy, like, metal, hardcore-ish band." And they go, "Oh, so you're like," and they'll say like Metallica, and you're like, "Well, I mean, I guess we're kind of like Metallica, but not really." And they'll be like, "Oh, so I know you guys are like Slipknot," and then we're like,
yeah.
"Well, it's closer, but not, still not the same." So what is this archetypes thing though?
Well, yeah, it's basically that. I think a lot of the time when people come to Slay the Spire for the first time, they want to find out what sorts of things there are, sort of like that. And they're new to the game, so they look at the cards and they're like, oh, you can build a strength deck, so that's the strength archetype. And then as you get better at the game, you start to learn that it's way more complicated than that. And like every single run, you're doing some pretty unique things based on exactly what's going on. That's all. That's the archetype meme. People bug me about it because I really, really try to avoid talking about archetypes at all as I'm trying to teach the game because I just think there's more to it, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. So he's gonna use a buff. So I should just get damage in while I can because he's not gonna attack me, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So just bash and then pummel.
Yep. Pummel's an interesting card because it exhausts. That's one of those cards where you only get to play them once, like you were talking about earlier. So sometimes you don't want to play Pummel early because if you can get your strength down, it will deal way more damage later than it does like the first time you draw it. Doesn't matter now, but I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Okay. So ethereal is if you don't use it, it's gone.
Ethereal is if you don't use it, it's gone. Exhaust is if you do use it, it's gone. Exactly.
Okay, I see.
Does he really attack you for 6 on turn 2 of this difficulty? Wow. Okay. This is interesting. So I don't know if it's defend, defend, or sword boomerang, defend, strike. It's either of those could be right.
Um, Sorry, I was talking in the stream. You said to double block.
I don't know if you're meant to double block or just do one block and then damage with the other cards. It seems close. Probably just one block and damage seems better. But yeah, like they're fairly similar lines. There's a there's a decent amount of data available on your Slay the Spire runs in like your save file folder basically. There's a little text file that says everything that happened on a run. And so you can do analysis on how much damage different players take per fight and stuff like that. And for the most part, I take about the same amount of damage in early fights as everybody else does, despite having played a very large amount of this game. Like, at some point, it's just all the lines are sort of pretty similar, and it's hard to say that one thing's a lot better than the other.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so this does five. So you attack and block, which I feel like is a pretty good card. Cost one less energy for each time you lose HP this combat. Deal 18 damage. It's a pretty good finisher, I feel like. Deal 4 damage and apply 1 vulnerable to all enemies. So that's like an AoE, like a 4 damage AoE.
Yep.
Wow. Um I don't know what the right pick is, but if I were playing on my own, and again, I don't know very much about this game, I would probably think that the AoE is the best thing, but Iron Wave seems good too
Yeah,
because it lets you attack and block, which is pretty good.
that's exactly where I'm at too. Like Iron Wave or Thunderclap both seem fine here. Thunderclap is better on higher difficulties, I think. And Iron Wave is better on lower difficulties, I think. I think on higher difficulties, you need to be doing things like making that vulnerable really valuable for yourself. And on lower difficulties, it's enough to just have a card that gains you some block and deals some damage that'll get you through the run, sort of. So either or seems
All
fine.
right, I think I'm gonna go with Iron Wave
Sure.
just because I like the idea of being able to attack and block.
It is the crux of knifey blocky, the Iron Wave.
Knifey blocky, it's amazing. Okay, so this is on sale for 27. I have 98 gold. Deal 5 damage twice, so deal 10 damage, and then you can upgrade that too. Ethereal, deal 20 damage. Wow, that's huge. And Warcry again, Burning Pact. So exhaust one card. So from your hand, you have to just get rid of a card.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Draw 2 for 1 seems pretty good. Whenever a card is exhausted, gain 3 block. And powers are like static abilities, right? Like they stay on the battlefield.
Exactly.
So does an enemy have any way to get rid of a power card?
No. In fact, for Feel No Pain, it's the opposite. For Feel No Pain, some enemies will give you cards which exhaust. Like that slime status that we got earlier is a card that exhausts. And so Feel No Pain actually gets better because of the things that enemies do to you.
Okay. Wow. 0 mana, deal 6 damage seems pretty good too. Thinking ahead, draw 2 cards, put a card from your hand on top of your draw pile, and exhaust. We don't have enough for that, but that card seems really good. Being able to just like strategically, uh, you know, do what you want.
Yeah, there's a lot of value in manipulating which cards get drawn when in this game. It's not like Hearthstone or Magic where you hold onto your hand every turn, so it's hard to guarantee that you have a card on the turn when you want it.
Yeah. Ancient T said, whenever you enter a rest site, start the next combat with 2 extra energy. Wow, this is pretty good. Dreamcatcher, whenever you rest, you may add a card into your deck. So is that random?
Yeah, it's like a fight reward. I think it's exactly a fight reward, actually.
Okay. Frozen Eye, when viewing your draw pile, the cards are now shown in order. What? That is cool.
It takes a long time to play with properly if you do a run with it.
Yeah. But like some cards combo with that, like like you're being able to see what you draw next is so sick.
Yeah, definitely.
And then card removal, so you can just pay to get rid of a card.
Yep, I would card remove.
So I think I can afford Twin Strike and Feel No Pain. I think that is what I would do. I don't know if that's right, but that's kind of what I would do.
Here's my metaphor for this. I think that your deck is really bad at the start of every run in Slay the Spire. It's just full of very, very, very poor cards. And you have to like stop the hemorrhaging. You have to put in a few cards that aren't that great, but they're better than the absolute trash that you start off with. But the problem is that then by the time you get to like Act 2 and Act 3, you have to go back into the open heart surgery that you performed on the battlefield, and you have to try to actually fix things up so they're working 100% perfectly. So at this point, we've put an Iron Wave in the deck, a Pummel in the deck, a Sword Boomerang in the deck. I would say that that's enough of like making the deck playable now. And now we already are wanting to switch over to thinking about how to get the bad cards out of the deck and start putting only the better cards in the deck. So I'd be like thinking about removing a strike or taking a feel no pain, because that's something that builds toward a big synergistic package of effects. I'd be thinking about doing one of those two things.
Okay. Let me look at the deck right now. So we have four four strikes, four defends, a bash, a sword boomerang, a pummel, and an iron wave. So this combos with feel no pain.
Mm-hmm.
And getting rid of a card. You say you should get rid of you would get rid of a strike, right?
Yep.
So I think what I would do is feel no pain,
Okay, that's sweet.
and then this isn't worth getting. You don't think?
I don't think that that is worth 27 gold. I'm not sure if I would take it for free if it was a fight reward. Um, I'm just concerned about too many one energy attacks, because we only get to draw 5 cards per turn, and we just want to be able to draw some stuff that isn't one energy attacks, basically. A 2 energy attack's better than a 1 energy attack right now, I think, because that way we can spend all of our energy on attacks in a turn without having to draw as many attack-based cards.
Yeah, true. All right. So I don't really need any health, so sleeping doesn't matter. But I can upgrade a card from resting too, right?
Yeah, and upgrading super strong.
So that you think that's better than the random?
Yeah, for sure. And we were going to go kill that elite too anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that was there. So um, probably feel no pain. Maybe sword boomerang.
I'll give you 3 options and say why they're the best options for what they are. So, Bash is the best option for dealing damage right now. Getting another turn of vulnerable and a bit more damage on your Bash just goes a long way. And Bash is a card that you want to play every time you draw it in order to deal damage, probably. So it's an upgrade where you're going to play the card a lot, and that'll make it worth it. Feel No Pain is the best upgrade for scaling later into the game. It doesn't do that much yet, but it's an upgrade that will start to do more and more as the run goes on. Generally, I'd probably wait until later to upgrade it, but it's a card I'd love to upgrade. And then Iron Wave, I would say, is a really cool upgrade because it helps you block. And our deck's not that great at blocking. We focus mostly on adding damage to the deck, but being able to block is a nice thing to do and becomes more and more important as the run goes on.
Okay. Probably bash then, right?
I like Bash. And the more you like upgrade the damage cards, the fewer extra damage cards you have to put in the deck too. So you can use like your campfires to get upgrades on damage cards and then stop having to worry about it so much.
Okay, so this goes 7/7, so 7 block, 7 damage, or 10 damage and 3 vulnerable. And that's just the target that you hit with bash, right? Like that doesn't give all enemies vulnerable.
Yeah, it's single target, which is a bit too bad. Like there are better cards in the game to vulnerable things with. That Thunderclap that we almost took is an AoE source of vulnerable, which is pretty sweet. But Bash is what we have right now, sort of, you know?
Probably Iron Wave then, because it's 2 cards in one. It's a better strike and a better defend in one.
Yeah, it's almost all the time that you draw Iron Wave, you're going to be pretty happy to play it, especially if it's upgraded.
All right. Before you lies an elaborate shrine to a forgotten spirit. Pray to transform a card. So transform completely changes the card.
Exactly. I think
And
how
is
it
it
works is every card is equally likely to end up being what it is. So you might get a rare card, sort of thing.
okay? And is it random,
Mm-hmm.
or do I get to pick like what cards? So
Completely
we could
random.
potentially transform what we just upgraded.
Oh, you get to pick which card you transform.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay,
You just don't get to pick what it ends up being.
I see. So probably a strike then.
Yep, absolutely.
Wow, this is crazy. Boom.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a really good one.
E- Exhaust all cards in your hand. Good lord. So everything is gone. Deal 7 damage for each exhausted card. Wow, that's a combo.
Yep, it's a really strong combo with Feel No Pain, and it's just a huge nuke for killing enemies early.
Cool. All right, so it's elite time.
You ready? Oh, we absolutely obliterate these enemies. Oh, this is gonna be great. I, I want you to play the fight. Play Feel No Pain this turn, and then I'll let you play the fight, and you can find out how dead these enemies are on your own.
Okay. So this negates a debuff. So like if I were to make them vulnerable, it makes it 1 turn less. Is that what it is?
It will completely negate it. They won't get vulnerable at all.
Oh wow. Hmm. I guess double defend.
Double defense fine with me.
Should I? I should always save potions for boss fights, right?
Potions are. Oh man. You want like the 15-minute answer, or generally having potions available to you is pretty valuable because it means that you can take more risks and then use them if you need them. Right now, I don't think we need them super much.
Wait, they're giving me ethereal cards.
Yep.
Oh, they don't. I don't exhaust them though. Wait, no, wait. If this card is in your hand at the end of the turn, it is exhausted. Okay, so it does exhaust.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna combo with my block, right?
Yep. So they're just giving you cards that block for you.
So sick. Um. Okay, so I bash the lowest sentry and strike it, or I'm gonna be taking 18. So maybe double block and sword boomerang.
Yeah,
Hmm.
killing one of them while blocking is basically your task. These enemies rotate or alternate what they're doing. They'll debuff you one turn and then attack you the next turn. And so that means that the ones on the outside are synced up. So whenever the ones on the outside attack, you get attacked for 18. Whenever the one in the middle attacks, you only get attacked for 9. So killing one of the ones on the outside, so that you're getting attacked for 9 every turn, is sort of the first goal of this fight.
True. Okay. So I'm taking taking 8 damage next turn. Um, I don't think sword boomerang is that reliable since I'd rather just stack 6 damage on one target, and this one is 38, so I'll just hit that one.
Yep, sounds good to me. I don't know if Sword Boomerang or Strike is better here. Like they're both, either could be better.
Huh. Okay. Exhaust all cards in your hand. Deal 7 damage for each exhausted card. So it'll deal 7, 14, 21, 28 damage, but I can play one card. So I can deal 7 damage with Iron Wave, block the 9 incoming, and I'll get more. Oh, I guess blocking doesn't matter because if I exhaust, I'm going to get 3 block per card, right?
Yep,
So that's 3, 6, 9, 12. Oh, yeah. So I'll block the. Hmm. So these cards are gone for the rest of combat.
correct.
Hmm. that seems more like just a finisher then. I feel like I shouldn't really get rid of the cards I have in my hand forever. Hmm. Deal 2 damage for 4 times. So I'll deal 8 damage, 7 damage, block 7, gain 3 block from exhausting, and gain 5 more blocks. I'll gain 8 block. So yeah, probably just Iron Wave, pummel on the front guy, and then defend.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with anything you do this turn, really. I would go pummel Fiendfire on the front guy. I think, hmm. Actually, I might go Iron Wave Fiendfire on the front guy just to keep Iron Wave for later in the fight. But I think it's really interesting what you're saying about exhausting your cards for the rest of the fight, because when you're just starting out and you don't know the fights and everything like that, it's really hard to judge if that's okay or not. Like, you won't have them anymore, and you don't know exactly how the fight's going to play out and stuff. It takes a long time to get to a point where you're starting to feel comfortable with Ironclad exhaust decks and working out, can I exhaust this card now or not? Um, my tendency when I'm learning games is just like do it and find out what happens, and sometimes I screw up and die, but that's always my default when I'm
Sure.
learning.
Sure. I mean, I just figured because I have what four defense cards or defend cards, so exhausting 2 just seems like a bad idea because then I'll only be able to block for 10 for the rest of the fight. You know.
But keep in mind
Well,
that you
other than Iron
have
Wave, I guess.
look at your draw pile right now. See those
Oh
dazed? Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna game block. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot. Completely forgot about those. So I'm gonna draw those, and then they're just gonna go away, and I get 3 block per each dazed.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. I think then if blocking's not gonna be an issue, then I think Iron Wave and Fiend Fire. So I'll deal 7, 14, 21 damage, and I'll gain block. Okay, so I'm gaining 3, 6, 9 block. So I can only play 2 cards. So it seems pretty. I mean, the play seems like it just played itself, right?
Yep.
The turn.
Sword Boomerang was sort of disappointing there, huh? Didn't really do what we needed a card to do.
Okay, so kill this. I'm gonna get 3 block, so 3 plus. So I'll get 8 block and strike the lower health one.
Sure. You can like, oh, you can spend a lot of time trying to work out which one of the two that you're meant to attack there, but it probably doesn't matter very much because you have to work out like, are you going to kill one in 5 turns or 6 turns? And depending on which one it is, you probably want to kill the one that's going to be attacking you on the turn that it dies, but it takes a while.
Oh yeah, I see, I see. So you want to kill the one that is doing the debuff, so that way when it switches to attack, it's not gonna be able to attack you because it's gonna die.
Yeah, but like it takes so long to try to work out exactly how many turns it's going to take to kill one. Like if it takes 3 turns versus 4 turns, it changes which one you should attack. It's hard to judge that stuff, and sometimes you just straight up can't tell.
That's a pretty junk hand.
Is it though?
I mean, it's. I guess I'm just looking at a bunch of blocks, right?
Yep.
Okay, sure. And then I can kill the guy who's gonna attack the next turn, which seems good.
Yeah, and striking before Sword Boomerang is great because it stops us from wasting Sword Boomerang damage, I believe.
Yeah, it
Pretty
just
sure that was
guarantees
right.
you're gonna do the damage to the right target.
Yeah. There are so many tiny things in the combat in this game. I don't even like notice them really anymore as I'm playing. I sort of just trust my brain to do a lot of this stuff automatically.
Sure.
If I'm on a win streak and I try to slow it down and really focus on everything I'm doing, it's incredible. Like It's incredible how little I actually know for sure.
Upon pickup, gain 30 gold. You are 10% more likely to find treasure in question rooms. So I get 30 gold just off the bat, and then 10% more to find treasure. And that's good, right?
It's okay. It
Do you think
doesn't
it's
do anything right now, but depending on what it does later, it could be all right.
okay? Whenever you play an attack this turn, gain 3 block. Gain 8 block, draw a card. That seems pretty good. Gain 5 block, upgrade a card in your hand for the rest of the game. Wow, that seems really good.
Not the rest of the game, rest of combat.
Oh, combat. Sorry, yeah.
Rest of the game would be insane, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that still seems like the pick, right?
Yeah, it's Armaments or Shrug It Off here for sure. They're both very good cards. Can go with either one.
I mean, I like the cycle, but I really like being able to like upgrade like a card, like you know I forgot what it is, but the power thing that when
Yeah,
you
feel nothing.
exhaust you, yeah. I'd probably go armaments.
Yep. Armaments is a fascinating card. It's one of the most interesting cards in the game for me, I think. Um, it gets worse as your deck gets better, because if your deck gets better and better, usually you already have upgraded cards anyway. It's a really good card in Act 1, and then sometimes it will be... Yeah, there are so many cool things you can do with armaments. I don't know. I'm not going to get all the way into it.
This game is a lot more intricate than I had initially expected. Like when I first was playing this game, I was like, "Oh, this game's fun," And it's like you don't really feel the synergies like if you're just playing like casual, but like now that you're going in depth on what everything does, and like later on, like you're always thinking ahead. Like this game is so much more involved than I expected. Because it's like you do have to think about future fights and like next acts and what's gonna happen then, and like I would just like, oh, cool. I would just try to find the path with the most like question marks and the most like you know I just thought that was the right way to go. I didn't think like, oh, it's better to get in a fight and build your deck. Like it's so much more intricate than I gave this game credit for. So thank you again for teaching me, man. This is cool.
Cool. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I think the devs did an incredible job. They made a
Yeah,
game
this
that
game is
is,
really cool.
yeah,
This is just a good card, right? Like, or a relic. It makes it so your removal's always 50.
yep.
Seems good.
So that'll save us probably 100, 200, maybe even 300 gold over the course of the run, depending on what happens.
So thievery, he steals 15 gold whenever it attacks. Do you get that gold back after the fight?
Oh yeah, you like go through his pockets. You take the current gold he has and also your gold back.
Okay. So let's It's gonna attack for 10. I can't really well, so one block is right, one block, and then probably boomerang strike and save this for when we have the enchantment out or whatever, or the skill out.
I'd do a quick check of your draw pile and see how much damage is in there, because maybe it's not really gonna, like, maybe he'll just be dead by then anyway.
So we have one strike, one bash, iron wave, and fiend fire. So we have 4 out of what, 9 that
Yeah,
can deal damage.
and armaments could upgrade one of the damage cards too. I think you're usually gonna have him dead by the time that you'd be drawing Pummel again, so you can just use Pummel now. It depends a little bit which order the cards get drawn. Oh yeah, he's already at 30. If we just Fiend Fire. Then we need 2 more.
So 7 damage, 7 block. Fiend fire will deal 21, so 28 damage.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's clearly better than playing the defend. So whereas earlier in the run, like usually playing Defender for 3 health seemed pretty good. At this point, it's like the enemy's dangerous enough and we're being asked to kill it pretty quickly before it gets away with our gold, so you're just happy to soak the damage.
For sure. Oh, power cards. Okay, I couldn't remember what they were called. Power cards. So power cards are the ones that are on the board at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to all enemies for each attack played this turn. Okay, that seems pretty good. That's like an AoE. You can get what, 3 damage at max.
It's so bad.
It's not good.
Oh man, compared to the other powers, it's so bad.
All right, so Flame Barrier gain 12 block. When you are attacked this turn, deal 4 damage back. Oh, that seems pretty good. Deal 8 to all enemies. That seems like the pick.
I like Cleave.
Cleave seems like the pick.
I like Flame Barrier.
Yeah.
Look at that fancy card. That thing I said
true.
earlier about wanting a 2-cost attack because it lets you spend 2 energy on attacking even if you only draw one attack card. That's a really big deal with Flame Barrier because blocking is such an important thing to do, but we don't have that many block cards in our deck yet. So getting to spend 2 energy on it for just 1 card is really sweet.
For sure. So there's an elite, a campfire, or a regular boss. Or I mean a regular enemy, sorry. Probably take on the elite, or there's not enough healing in the way because you have to go through another elite to get healing.
Can you scroll up
I
and
don't know.
see who the boss is? Hexaghost.
It's the guy with the 6 flames around him.
Yeah. I think you should write a song about Hexaghost. Hexaghost is my favorite music in the game, actually.
Hexaghost, is that what it's called?
Yeah, they do a really good job of scoring that fight with music in the soundtrack. I'd fight the elites, just kill them all. Your deck's really strong with Fiendfire. It's pretty good.
Okay, let's go for it. Metallicize. At the end of its turn, it gains 8 block. This enemy is asleep. So does any damage wake him up?
If you break the shield, it'll wake up.
So if I deal 8 damage, he'll wake up?
If you deal 9 damage, he will wake up.
So bash is worth doing then, right? Bash and defend? Or is he worth just waking up right now?
I'm not sure.
Bash,
honestly, I don't know. So bash pummel looks fine, or you can bash and try to draw Fiendfire next turn, and he'll still be vulnerable, and you'll deal 40 damage. Either bash pummel or it's only a 50% chance to draw Fiendfire with 10 cards in your draw pile, so yeah.
Okay. So to wake him up. If I wake him up, he instantly attacks, or does he do something else?
He'll start attacking next turn. You can damage him for sure. Lagabulin's a fight where you sort of tank a bunch of damage to deal a bunch of damage.
Did not draw it. Okay. Armaments, upgrading Feel No Pain, and then Iron Wave.
I like it. Or I like Armaments upgrading Strike and Strike and Iron Wave even. Or I like sort of like Feel No Pain, Armaments upgrading Strike, Iron Wave, but don't even play the Strike that you upgraded. This is Armaments again, right? There are so many things you can do with that card.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, and it's not a ethereal, so you get to play it again.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's really good. You just get to keep upgrading cards in your deck for the fight.
Yep.
Wow, that's really good. Okay, so you think Feel No Pain, upgrade of Strike, and then Iron Wave?
That's one of the things you could do. I don't have the answer on this turn, to be honest. So I play a lot of this sort of on feel because I've played the fights a ton of times and I know what's in my deck and I have a pretty good expectation of what's going to happen. I haven't solved it all though. So right now, one thing that's happening is on Ascension 20, the enemies are different. He has less health and deals less damage, and we have more health and stuff. And so all of the things that I'm used to are different. And so I I can tell you the things that seem like they're reasonable, but I really don't have experience to say which one's the best out of all three of them. It's just like,
Okay.
yeah. As long as you do
All right.
something reasonable, you should be okay though.
Okay. Well, I think just blocking for 12 if he's coming in for 18 is good, and getting the feel no pain down is just kind of important. But he's also vulnerable, so I feel like getting damage in is just good no matter what.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the
So
general
I think since we don't have any exhaust cards, we're gonna draw. Wow, we're gonna draw Fiend Fire. So Fiend Fire, 3 blocks. Yeah, maybe just armament, upgrade the strike, and then just deal damage while he's hurt.
I like that. That makes a ton of sense to me.
Okay, so he's coming in for 18, so we can do block for 15. Potions, choose one of 3 random skills added to your hand and cost 0 this turn. Apply 3 vulnerable, gain 2 dexterity, improves block gain from cards. We can absorb all the 18.
Yeah, I think right now is a pretty reasonable time to use a potion because we're fairly likely to get one from the fight anyway, and we've got a full potion belt. So using some sort of potion seems great. The the thing about this fight is that next turn we're getting debuffed and we're losing 1 dexterity and 1 strength. So like slowly we get toward a point where our cards just don't do very much and we do have to deal damage somewhat quickly. But I think it's fine to take this turn defending. The thing is working out how long you can spend blocking versus when you have to start just dealing damage because you're gonna run out of time in this fight.
Okay, so let's defend, sword boomerang.
I like that. Yeah. So basically pay 4 health to deal 9 damage. I don't think that's too bad. Another thing to think about is because we're losing that strength, sword boomerang gets worse because like the loss of strength actually applies to the card 3 times. And so if we'd fiend fired that turn, we wouldn't have had
Oh
sword boomerang
yeah,
in our deck anymore. So that could actually be a
yeah,
benefit for us.
that's true. Yeah, because it would, instead of doing 2 damage 4 times, it would do what, 1 damage 4 times.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's doesn't seem good at all. All right, gain 14 block whenever you attack this turn. Deal 4 damage back. He's not attacking, so that's not worth playing. So Iron Wave, so bash Iron Wave.
Seems great. This fight's also like because you get that turn where the enemy debuffs, you sort of try to line it up so that you deal all your damage on the debuff turn and then you kill it the turn after before the attack lands. So if we're not going to kill it this turn, it makes a lot of sense to try to block the next 2 attacks and then it will debuff us again and then we try to kill it the turn after that debuff turn because you get 2 full turns to deal damage in there basically.
Okay. Do you think it's worth buffing Fiend Fire and saving it for later, or
I'd buff it
because
and
I can
play
gain
it.
6 blocks, I can gain 18. I can block his next attack.
I just play Fiend Fire though. Armaments the Fiend Fire, and that's gonna be so much
Oh,
damage.
I see.
39 or something.
So 9 times. So
Plus the vulnerable too.
oh yeah, oh yeah. So huh. So it'll take 30, or how does vulnerable?
More.
Oh, 50% more rounded down. Okay, so it'll be 9 plus 4, so 13. So 39. Wow, that's really good.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. You convinced me. And then yeah, we just kill him this turn.
Yep. Yeah, that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, you convinced me. You convinced me.
Hey,
Oddly smooth. Oddly smooth stone. Start each combat with 1 dexterity.
it does something
That's
in
good.
combat. Yeah, relics that do something in
That's
combat
good.
are great. The other ones we've gotten
Power
so
push.
far don't.
Choose one of 3 random power cards out of your hand. It costs 0 this turn. Um, apply 13 damage or deal 13 damage. Apply 1 weak, 1 vulnerable. Apply 3 weak and 3 vulnerable to all enemies. Exhaust. Okay. Lose 3 HP. Deal 14 damage. Wow. Hmm. Hmm. So we're close to the boss fight. So I don't know. He doesn't. Does he summon? Does he have enemies with him, or is it just?
Hexaghost is all single target. He's just the one guy. Gonna have to deal 200 plus damage to him though.
So maybe uppercut.
I like uppercut a ton here actually. Why did you say uppercut?
Just because it's single target. Like the AOE is good, but like if we know the boss is going to be a single target boss, then I feel like this is more important.
Yep, makes sense to me. Another reason I really like uppercut is that we didn't upgrade bash yet, so getting another vulnerable charge in the deck is really cool. And uppercut's upgrade makes it vulnerable more, and so we can upgrade uppercut instead of bash now. And uppercut's just a better card to have upgraded than bashes, so like saves us ever having to upgrade bash, and instead we upgrade uppercut, and I think that's super cool.
For sure. Okay. So deal 13 damage, apply 1 weak, 1 vulnerable. Gain 8 block, deal 7 damage. Oh yeah, we have 1 dexterity, so we can block for 14. So I think since we can't kill anything, 'cause 8 damage, yeah, we won't be able to kill anything. Maybe Iron Wave, defend, strike.
There are there are at least 4 different things that I can think of that seem reasonable here, and I don't know which one's right. That one's one of them.
Okay.
No, there are 3 things I can think of that's reasonable. That one or uppercut Iron Wave, but I'm not sure which one you deal damage to if you uppercut Iron Wave. Uppercut Iron Wave could go on either, but the fact that it weakens like sort of blocks a little bit too.
That's true. If I uppercut, probably the guy in the back because he's doing more damage.
That makes
Right?
sense. Yeah, it's like the guy in the back dealing more damage, so the weak matters more, but the guy in the front has less health, so you could kill it faster. I don't think it's ever correct to like uppercut the back one and Iron Wave the front one. That seems crazy, but maybe you could have done that
So
too.
so we can probably just 6 and 8, 14. I guess we could just Fiend Fire and kill off the Slayer, right?
Oh yeah, play Fiend Fire.
On the it'll do 7, 14, 28. Yeah, so I'll just kill him,
And it looks really cool, and he explodes. It's great.
and I save 12 damage.
Yep.
There we go. Okay, so Flame Barrier is going to block his attack and do 4 damage to him. So I feel like that's the play. So Flame Barrier and Armaments Flame Barrier? Or is it worth upgrading, or
Does
it'll
armaments
upgrade
on Sword Boomerang and Defend and Sword Boomerang deal more damage than Flame Barrier does, maybe? Armaments on Sword Boomerang does 12. Flame Barrier, Sword Boomerang, 9. So the most damage you can deal is Flame Barrier, Sword Boomerang, but then it's like Does armamentsing a card make things better enough later? Maybe. Maybe it does.
Probably. Is there a way to see what they upgrade into or no?
You can right click on that. Does right clicking on it do something? I lied to you. You can go to your deck in the top right, and then you can right click on it, or left click on it, and then view upgrade.
Oh, yeah, true. So 16 block, he'll take 7 or 6 damage back. Or sword boomerang will 12 damage. Yeah, maybe it's not really worth upgrading anything. Maybe just
That's 16 damage, right? That's pretty good.
what, flame barrier, sword boomerang?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, it's not. It's 13 damage.
Well, it's 4 and not. It's 13.
Yep.
And he doesn't attack me, so yeah. Flame barrier, sword boomerang.
Yep. Seems good to me. It's just like, was it worth it that turn? Maybe to deal a little bit less damage, but we upgrade one of the cards. So like on this turn, maybe if we'd drawn poorly, but one of those cards was upgraded, it would have made a difference.
I can feel no pain. I'll gain 3 block from this. Feel no pain, flame barrier? Or do you think it's worth just going all out and attacking? I do 6. I can upgrade to deal, what, 8?
Strikes are 9 upgraded. I think Flame Barrier Strike. You could look at your draw pile here again and see. You can't see exactly what you draw next turn, but you get a good idea that, oh yeah, there's tons of damage, so you'll probably be able to kill next turn.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. All right. Flame Barrier is a great card. My God.
You're not playing with Act 4 enabled yet, but in Act 4 there's an enemy that attacks you 15 times in one turn, and every time it attacks you, Flame Barrier deals it damage.
Oh, wow.
It's very
That's
enjoyable.
amazing.
Very enjoyable.
It's amazing. All right, so Battle Trance is draw 3 cards. You cannot draw additional cards this turn. Well, that just seems really good.
It's insane.
Deal 8 damage to all enemies. Shrug it off. Yeah, Battle Trance, right? Like, how many cards am I going to draw past the 3? I feel like that's just really good no matter what.
Yeah, it's very, very good. I think there's almost no Ironclad card I would ever take over Battle Trance in Act 1. It's very hard to not take Battle Trance when you're offered it in Act 1.
All right, let's go to the unknown. You walk by an eerie statue holding several masks. Something behind you softly whispers, "Stop." You swerve around to face the statue, which is now facing you. On closer inspection, it's not a statue, but a statuesque, gaunt man. Is he even breathing? Face. Let me touch, maybe trade. Lose 8 HP, gain 75 gold. We have 48, so what, a 40? That doesn't seem good. Trade 50% good face, 50% bad face. I don't know what that means.
I feel like it would be unfair for me to give input in this decision.
Okay.
Maybe afterwards I can.
Would you be able to explain what a good face and a bad face is?
Sure.
Without giving anything away?
They're relics that have relatively minor effects, pretty much. The bad ones are like you lose the next relic in the chest that you open, and you are weakened on turn 1, are the ones from the bad ones. And then the good ones are, one of them gives you 1 max HP every time you finish a fight, and the other one gives you 50 gold every time you go to an event. There's another face that makes you say cacaw at the start of every fight. And if you trade faces and get that one, I'm going to put on a bird mask, and the conversation is going to be a little bit different.
What? I kind of want to do it just because of that. That sounds amazing. Jin. Huh. Okay. Well, I don't know what the right play is. I think I'm gonna go for the trade.
All right. Oh,
The next non-boss chest you open is empty. Okay.
yeah, it's one of the bad ones.
Okay. Was that the right pick or no? Was gold the right pick? That would have been my. That was a very close runner-up.
Yeah, I think that was pretty close between all three options. I'm not sure how well this deck does against Hexaghost right now on non-Ascension, so that makes it harder for me to decide if giving up the health was safe. But the gold for next act would have been really nice. The trading faces, I think, overall is positive on average. So it's unfortunate we got a bad one, but I think it's a fine decision to go for it anyway. And then just leaving and not doing anything is like, it's fine.
Okay, so sorry, I was talking to my stream a little bit. The elite. I don't know if 48 health is enough to take on an elite, and you don't gain full health back with a rest, right? So maybe just a regular fight and then the campfire.
An interesting thing about our deck at this point in the act is you haven't really been doing this deliberately exactly, but we've somewhat accidentally and somewhat because I've been guiding you a bit toward it, we've ended up with a deck that's really good at fighting elites in Act 1. The late act hallway fights in Act 1 have a lot of like AoE stuff and things like that. If you remember the last one we did, there was like a slaver and a slime, and we don't really have any AoE. Whereas the elites that we can fight are single target, but we have vulnerable and fiend fire. Or we can fight
Oh
sentries
yeah.
again, but against sentries we have feel no pain, so we just make a ton of block late in the fight and it's not an issue. So our deck's actually probably almost better at fighting elites than hallway fights right now, and they give more rewards.
Okay. Sure.
Ooh.
So single target, he intends to use a buff.
This man's scary.
Armament, strike, and strike.
I would use the vulnerable potion, and I would use 3 strikes. This is an enemy who you just play damage cards against. You don't block against this enemy ever, really. You'll see why next turn.
So he's enraged for 14. Whenever you play a skill, it gains 2 strength. Holy crap. Okay. So yeah, we just jam attacks. So I can do 7 damage, so I can do 28 damage.
Except vulnerable, so it's actually 40.
Oh crap. 40. Okay. Probably bash sword boomerang or uppercut sword boomerang.
You really need to check what's in your draw pile here. Well, maybe you know what it is, but I don't.
So it's the 0 mana draw, deal 7, gain block 7, pummel, and flame barrier.
So I think if you go Sword Boomerang Fiend Fire, you almost always kill next turn, thanks to Battle Trance. I'm pretty sure that's how the math works out.
So fiend fire.
Yep. Would have to get very unlucky.
So draw pummel and defend, and then another one, right?
Yep, and Pummel plus Iron Wave is enough to kill already. And even if we drew defend instead of Battle Trance, it wouldn't have been a problem there actually, because we could have just Flame Barriered this turn. Cool.
Warpaint. Upon pickup, upgrade 2 random skills. Okay. How many skills do we have? We have block and armaments and flame barrier and battle trance. Does battle trance you draw 4?
Mhm.
Wow, that's insane, dude.
It's a
Just
good,
getting 4 cards,
it's a good
having a
card,
completely full hand.
especially with Fiend Fire. Like, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Definitely grabbing
Pick
that.
up. Ooh, okay.
Oh, it's random.
It is.
Oh, okay.
And if you added a card to your deck first, you could have potentially had that card be the one that got upgraded. So you want to take a look at the card rewards first when you get offered
Oh, I
that
see.
relic.
Yeah.
And it's not a
I'm just used to
big
going
deal.
down in
Yeah, I know.
order.
I know for sure.
So this turn, your next attack is played twice. Holy crap, that seems pretty good too. Deal 14 damage. Strength affects this card 3 times. Deal 7 damage. Shuffle a Dazed into your draw pile. Dazed is
That's the one
exhaust or
the
no?
sentries were giving us. It's the one that blocks with Feel No Pain.
Okay.
I think Reckless Charge is probably the best card here. Because we've got Battle Trance to draw that Dazed, and then Feel No Pain's in play, so it exhausts for some block for us. And it's a 0 energy damage card. Once we got Battle Trance, like, the value of low cost cards goes up so much, because now we're drawing more cards per turn.
Okay. So just rest, right? I mean, I'm gonna need the health. It'll take me to 66.
Upgrade. Do it. Upgrade. Do it.
40 health, dude. Am I gonna die?
Do it
Okay.
now.
Okay.
I was channeling the Sith Lord there a little bit for you.
That's it. Yeah. I got to learn. I got to stay the light side, and then you gotta bring me into the all powerful dark side. Okay.
I like using the power potion for the boss fight and getting an upgrade in now. I think that if we didn't have the potion, it would be a scary fight, but with the potion, we're pretty much fine.
Someone on my stream said Vigil is Kermit and Jorbs is Kermit with the hood. Like myself talking to myself, but doing the crazier thing.
I like it.
So we know it's a single target. So Fiend. It's got to be either Fiend Fire or Uppercut, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'd take
Because
Uppercut.
it's just one guy. Yeah, because that's something you can do over and over again.
Yep.
Deal 13 damage, 2 weak, 2 vulnerable. Yep.
Which matters a lot more for a boss fight, whereas I think Fiend Fire is better for like the hallway fights in the next act. Fiend Fire would be more useful.
True. Okay, so before we get into this fight, though, I'm going to use a restroom real quick. So I'll be right back.
All right, I'm going to go take a break too. I'll be back soon as well.
I don't know if you're back, but I'm back.
I'm back. Are other people back? Hey, Twitch chat.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back. I'm just going through the events that happened, thanking people.
Oh, for sure.
All right, it's cool. So you ready for this boss fight?
Let's do it. You got the game music turned all the way up? You're listening to your own music, right?
I am, but I'll turn it up now.
Oh, man. Oh, no. It's
Wait, I'm
gonna
not.
be really loud.
It's not playing.
I know there isn't any right now.
Oh,
No,
there's not.
it'll start playing very soon.
Okay. Okay, so he has a question mark. So you have no idea what he's doing, but you definitely know he's not attacking. That is that all question marks, or does it just tell you that it's not attacking when he's not? So he's not attacking. So bash and strike.
Yep. Um, yeah, I guess it says not attacking, right?
Yeah,
He's
it
actually
says.
not doing anything here.
So he's doing 4 damage 6 times. So he's hitting me for 24 damage. This music is cool. It's super epic. Okay. Um it's really hard for me to not battle trance Fiendfire. That feels that that's so tempting
He deals a
because I'll
lot of
have 3
damage.
extra cards. Oh man. I know that's not the right play, but that's what in my brain that's what I want to do.
I think battle trancing first is like you can do that and then you'll see different cards, right? So you'll have some more information on what you can do.
Hmm. All right, so he's going to attack for 4 times 6. So it's 4 times 6 damage.
Oh, we were gonna power potion for this fight, by the way. I forgot while we were on break.
Okay, so drink.
Those don't really do very much. Uh-oh.
Somebody's asking what your true identity is. Jax or Blanc? What is Jorb's true identity?
Jacques? Jacques Orblanc? That's not a name that I've heard in a long time.
But you have heard of it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Jacques Orblanc is a famous diamond smuggler and thief. He's international. He's wanted by Interpol and many other government agencies. I have no idea why anybody would associate me with him, personally. Couldn't say.
All right. So at the start of your turn, lose 1 HP, draw 1 card. Considering I'm at 40, I don't think that's a good idea. Barricade block is not removed at the start of your turn, so you can just pile up on block. Seems pretty good. Metallicize. At the end of your turn, gain 3 block. So do these automatically go into play, or do they just go in my hand?
They go on your hand, costing 0.
Metallicize?
I like Metallicize, yeah. So the problem with Fiendfire here is that this enemy puts burns in your deck, so if you get rid of your real cards, but then the enemy puts burns in your deck, all of a sudden the burns are a large percentage of your deck for the rest of the fight. So I think this is a fight where you want to hold on to Fiendfire for a bit, but like just going like Metallicize, Uppercut, Iron Wave, and Reckless Charge, I guess, looks fine. You're just like playing your good cards. Basically, you just played the cards which were upgraded and didn't play the other ones, right? Simple enough.
So he's going to do 18 damage, so I'm going to go down to 30.
Yeah. You have to decide whether you want a Reckless Charge or not. Probably do.
I mean, I have another turn of him being vulnerable. Yeah, probably just do it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
There's only 4 this time. Okay, so Feel No Pain, I feel like is pretty important to just get down. Or is it worth trying to upgrade and then get down? This is really good for when he does the multiple attacks. Does it trigger for each attack he does?
Yeah, that would have dealt, what, 24 damage last turn if you'd had it out in play?
Okay. So I think armaments, Feel No Pain, block.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or is it not worth upgrading? Should I just Flame Barrier and Feel No Pain?
I like armaments because it upgrades Flame Barrier 2 at this point, because you upgraded it with Warpaint, so now it's upgrading all the cards in your hand. So even though you're not playing Flame Barrier, the next time you draw it, it will be upgraded.
Oh, it's all cards. I should probably read the card, huh?
Yeah, just because you upgraded it
Upgrade
with Warpaint.
all cards. Oh, okay. Before it was target card. Okay. I see.
Which is very strong with Battle Trance, by the way. You can get a big hand of cards and then play your armaments, and all of the cards are suddenly upgraded.
Feel No Pain and block.
Yep. You don't even need to block, just like the Feel No Pain and pass. This is one of those hands where we didn't draw a damage card, but we didn't need to block, so our hand just sort of didn't work. Unfortunately.
So I think we just lead with Battle Trance, right?
Mm-hmm. Didn't you already play this turn? Isn't this like the exact same hand you had last time?
Basically. Probably Uppercut Iron Wave.
Mm-hmm.
So not going to take damage. Ooh, it's a pretty bad hand, but he's not doing a whole lot. So is this skill potion worth playing, or do you think I should just not play it?
I'm really hoping that we're okay. The skill potion could give you plus strength if you drink it on a turn where we're getting attacked, or it can give you more likely plus block if we save it for a turn where we're getting attacked for more than we can block for. So I don't think it's that great to use it now. Could have thought about playing a strike there. You already had Metallicize, so you're only getting 1 damage. Maybe it would have been worth dealing 9 damage to take 1.
Yeah, I forgot about Metallicize. I was getting 3. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so he's going to block and use a buff. So armaments buffs reckless charge to what? Reckless charge 10 damage.
I
He's
like,
not attacking, so Flame Barrier does nothing.
yeah, we're drawing that at the wrong time over and over again. I like playing the Reckless Charge after upgrading it. And then,
Oh,
upgrade it
whoops. I'm
first.
sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, that was my fault.
No problem.
Got
The
trigger
fact that
happy.
the Dazed gets drawn next turn is actually sort of nice because we will be getting attacked next turn and it blocks for us. I think there's a chance that we die in this fight right now. I don't know what his numbers are, I guess. Maybe I'm overestimating what he does. This turn looks pretty fine.
So I'm getting 3 block no matter what. So uppercut, defend,
Yeah, and
or
then...
double.
Ooh, do you need to defend? Maybe you can uppercut strike. Take
Because he'll
3.
do 10, so getting 3.
And the Dazed as well. Is another 4.
Do you think it's worth trying to get a strike in?
You have a Fiend Fire that deals 70. You have Pummel and Sword Boomerang still. You got Iron Waves and Reckless Charges. And in terms of block, we have a Skill Potion. I think it's probably okay. I'm not actually sure how much we get attacked for when... So you may have noticed that he's charging up.
Yeah.
When
it's
all of those
getting-
are charged up, bad things happen.
Okay.
I think we want to strike. I think we try to end the fight before it all goes wrong. Ooh, you get to do the thing where Pummel makes block for you when you play it with Feel No Pain here. You can go bash Reckless Charge Pummel and deal all your damage and also take no damage. It's a pretty good turn.
These burns are scaring me. So just draw off the bat, right?
The only reason not
Always
to
just draw
draw
first?
would be if it was reshuffling your draw pile. You might want to like play one of the cards in your hand so that it was in your next draw pile, if that were the case.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Like in Fiend Fire, he's vulnerable for... I'll gain 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 block.
It's actually times 4 because we upgraded Feel No Pain. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Yeah, so that just blocks everything.
Yep, and the Fiend Fire
Or like an
exhausts
Iron
too.
Wave. Like an Iron Wave Fiend Fire, so it doesn't exhaust. Yeah, get rid of the burn too, right?
Yep, I like Iron Wave, Fiend Fire for sure. Keep Iron Wave for the next time through the deck. Yeah, that was a really good turn for us. Sort of matched up his overcharge with our overcharge.
Don't like those burns though.
Yeah.
Burn plus taking 4 damage.
That's the only way in the entire game that you can get an upgraded status card. So congratulations, you've done something very special today.
Upgraded negative effect. There you go.
Yep.
Armaments, Iron Wave Strike.
Yep. Only play, right? As long as you play armaments first. That's the only thing you could have done wrong that turn was not playing the armaments first. Oh,
Oh boy.
I guess that's another reason you might not want to play Battle Trance.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wrecked, dude. I'm taking 16 from this and then 14. I'm taking exactly 30 damage.
It's okay. We're okay.
Good lord. Oh man, that was almost trouble. Okay, double your strength, exhaust. Okay, that seems good. This turn, your next deck is played twice. Deal 4 damage to all enemies. Heal HP to unblock damage. Wow, that seems good. Um, is it Reaper or Limit Break? What do you think?
Hmm. At Ascension 20, I would take Reaper here. But one of the really big differences between Ascension 20 and non-Ascension is that at Ascension 20, I basically fight 4 really hard fights at the end of the run, and on this difficulty, we fight 1. So the fact that Reaper can sustain you through 4 fights is a really big deal. But it doesn't matter as much here. So maybe Limit Break's better here. I'm not sure. But we have this thing going on where we have a lot of cards that care about us having strength, and we don't actually have any strength. So we really need to find a strength source for our deck to make sense still.
Okay. Hmm. So, hmm. So probably just Limit Break then? I just figured the healing would come in handy, but I guess maybe just
They're both
trying
really
to end
good.
fights.
They're
Trying to end fights before I need it was a better idea.
Yeah, they're both super super good. I'm not sure which one's better. It might be the case that actually any strength is enough, and we didn't even need Limit Break to be strong enough to beat bosses. Like if we just get something that gives us 3 strength, it's already fine. So maybe Reaper was better in that case.
All right, Mark of Pain. Gain energy at the start of your turn. At the start of combat, shuffle 2 wounds into your draw pile. Nope. Gain energy at the start of your turn. You can no longer see enemies' intents. That doesn't seem good either. Sozu. Gain energy at the start of your turn. You can no longer gain potions. Wow. I feel are these seem kind of crazy.
They all have significant drawbacks, right? I think Sozu is typically the best of the three. Would sort of be consensus, but they all definitely have drawbacks. Don't pick Runic Dome, not for a tutorial run.
Yeah. Not being able to see what to do.
Yeah.
Uh So the wounds, are they just unplayable cards that get exhausted, or are they cards that you take damage?
They are unplayable cards which just stay in your deck. They actually don't get exhausted.
So Sozu or just skip altogether?
I would take Sozu. Getting from 3 energy up to 4 energy makes a lot of a difference when you have a bunch of 2 energy cards, and we have like Uppercut and Bash and Flame Barrier. And Fiend Fire actually as well. So being able to play 2 of those in one turn is a pretty big deal. It's generally a big deal to have 4 energy instead of 3 energy.
Okay. So does the same rule apply for the next floor?
Act 2. Well, Act 2, you're starting with a deck that is different every time. Like, you never start Act 2 with the exact same deck that you did last time. So that means that your goals are a little bit different. In general, Act 2 is a lot more dangerous than Act 1. It has a lot more area of effect sorts of things than Act 1. So picking up some area of effect stuff for our deck would be a really good idea. And you're often being really tested for the first time in the run by the Act 2 boss on whether or not you can make your deck like get stronger over the course of a fight. So, like getting some sort of power that synergizes with other things you're doing or whatever is sometimes Act 2 boss is the first time that you really have to have done that.
Okay, so is this boss particularly hard or easy, or is he just like kind of like a average
El
boss?
El Campione. He's like a toddler in a really big suit of armor. That's basically what the champ is. He will potentially kill you if you don't have some way to scale your deck up, though.
If I don't have any way to what?
Scale your deck up. So that could be like a Burning Pact. We saw one in a store earlier. It let us exhaust a card and draw some cards. You could use a card like that to just exhaust your bad cards and get to a point where your deck was mostly good cards, and that would probably be enough scaling to beat champ at this difficulty, I think. Or it could be another power that synergized with exhausting, or it could be some strength so that we're starting to deal more damage with our attacks. There are lots of ways we could do it, but we probably want some way for the deck to get stronger over the course of a longer fight to be able to beat that guy.
Okay. So this is 2 fights, question mark, merchant, question mark, elite, campfire. It seems to be like the best route, maybe. Puts me. This one is 4 enemies, merchant, elite, and a fire. Or a camp, I mean. This is 4. I would probably start here. What do you
Yeah, I
think
like
about
that too.
that?
I'd take the left one that has the event before the fight instead of the event after the fight, though. In
Okay.
Act 2, you only get 2 fights that are from the easy fights, and then after your first 2, they start getting really hard, so you really want to avoid fights as much as possible. Also,
True.
Act 2 events are really good. There are just a lot of really good events in Act 2.
Okay, so he has this enemy intends to block on his next turn, so he's going to block. Block is not removed at the start of turn. Negates 3 debuffs. Got 40 block. So his jam attacks.
For now, that's pretty much all you can do, yeah. I might have gone Sword Boomerang Fiend Fire instead of playing the Strike. I don't know, though. Like, the Flame Barrier is a good card to hold on to.
All right. Do I battle trance and then armament what I get from that? Or do I armament and draw 4 cards?
It's the eternal question. I don't know.
I would think doing armaments on a bigger hand is probably a better idea than drawing 1 extra card.
Yeah, generally I tend to go Battle Trance first in this sort of situation, but there are times when it's right to do it the other way around. Ooh, you don't want Limit Break to stay in your deck, and if you upgrade it, it doesn't exhaust anymore when you play it, so you have to think about whether you want to play Limit Break here to take it out of your deck.
Why don't you want it in your deck?
Well, it doubles your strength, right? But how much strength do you have right now?
Um, 0?
Yeah. This is our issue.
I see.
So until we get a source of strength, that card's not actually very good.
True. Okay. So do I just exhaust it then? Or do I not even do armament? Do I just uppercut? He'll attack for 8. And then I
That one
can.
has artifact charges, so you actually won't successfully weaken it. So, geez. I think I'd go Limit Break, then Armaments, then Feel No Pain, then Pummel, I think. But it seems like there are lots of pretty reasonable ways to play this turn. Limit Break, Feel No Pain, Armaments, Pummel. That gets you full block. It deals 10 damage. It doesn't remove any artifact charges, unfortunately. But it does upgrade a bunch of your cards, and it gets you Feel No Pain plus some play. We've evolved from the days of Act 1 where there were like 3 things that seemed reasonable, and we're now in a world where there are 10 plus things you could do with this hand that all don't seem that insane. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking since limit break doubles 0, we just get it out of the way now. We then armament, buff everything else, feel no pain, and pummel.
Hmm.
Is that right?
That's what I was thinking is probably good. We don't really have to hold on to pummel for long in fights. It's not that good because we don't have any strength yet. It's sort of in the same boat as limit break, where once we get strength, that card's going to be really good. But until then, it's just sort of mediocre.
All right, so he's attacking for 10 twice. So he still got cancels debuffs, which kind of sucks.
And you're frail now, which is making it so your defends aren't blocking for as much.
Okay, so reckless charge, bash, iron wave, defend plus.
Seems good to me. I think that if you have a deck that is better at scaling, you could not bash this turn, and you could just play only defensive cards. And so basically, you'd play the defend unupgraded instead of playing the bash. But our deck doesn't really do that yet, so we have to probably take a little bit of damage here and there in order to win the fight.
So armament.
Deck has a battle trance and a bunch of defend pluses and a fiend fire. I think you can almost for sure just go armaments, defend plus, bash plus here, and not play the strike, and take or you could have gone defend plus bash strike. Maybe that was better even. And then probably we just win before too long, because once we draw fiend fire, even if fiend fire doesn't kill, we have feel no pain in play, so it's going to be a turn where we're basically invincible.
Okay, so fiend fire. The negating the debuffs kind of sucks because you would be vulnerable and it'd be so much better.
That actually will work with uppercut because he has one artifact charge. When you uppercut, it applies 2 weak. That gets negated. Then afterwards, it applies 2 vulnerable. So the vulnerable will work.
So draw first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. So this will do 4 damage, 8 damage back, but I need to stop from 20 damage. Deals 7 damage for each exhausted card. So 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. I'm one off.
But you have uppercut too.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You're right. Because that'll stack. That'll give him one vulnerable, so it'll stack. So, yeah, yeah. So uppercut, Fiendfire?
Yep. And even if uppercut didn't give the vulnerable there, it's a card that you're playing that deals more than 7 damage by itself. So it's like getting you that little bit of extra damage, even without the vulnerable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So one, add a random attack card to your hand. It costs 0 this turn. Exhaust. Clothesline, deal 12 damage, apply 2 weak. Or Anger, deal 6 damage, add a copy of this card in your discard pile. How good are 6 mana, 0, or 6 damage, 0 mana cards?
They get really good if you have a lot of card draw and a lot of strength, but we don't really have either.
Okay. 12 damage, 2 weak. Seems okay. I think Infernal Blade or just skip.
Yep.
I don't know what the right play is.
I'm okay with this being our first skip. I don't think anything there is super incredibly great. Infernal Blade's okay. It's more of like an Act 1 card than an Act 2 or 3 card, though.
Yeah. I just figured it's one energy for a possible better than 1 energy card, but the the randomness is probably not worth it.
Ironclad, oh man, that card is a bit up and down. Ironclad has a lot of like rare attacks that cost a lot of energy, and so the fact that they cost 0 the first time you play them is pretty cool. But Ironclad also has like a bunch of attacks that cost 0 energy already. And probably the worst feeling is getting Whirlwind off that. Whirlwind costs X energy, so like playing it for 0 just doesn't do anything at all. Oh, you get to kill a bird.
Yeah, Flame Barrier just he's gonna hit me 5 times, so he's gonna take 20 damage off the top, right?
Yeah.
So that's just seems like the right play.
Definitely starting with Flame Barrier makes a ton of sense. And then you have to decide if you want to get Feel No Pain in play or if you are going to knock one of
Just
them out
kill
of the
him.
air. You don't want to attack the back one because these have a special, what is that even called? Debuff or something? Buff? I don't know. You want to attack one of them 3 times, and you probably want to attack the one with less health that's buffing itself, I guess, maybe, or the one with more health that's buffing itself. Either way,
Like all 3 times.
yeah. And that'll once it gets knocked out of the sky, it loses its damage reduction, and it also does a different move set, which is a lot less dangerous.
That seems pretty good. Um, Bash the Flyer. Oh, I just have to hit him 3 times, right? And then he cancels what he's doing.
And Pummel hits him 4 times, and that counts. Like each
Yeah,
time that an attack hits works.
so I just do that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then bash Iron Wave, the middle one.
I think so. Probably. I think that Bash Iron Waving the middle one is completely fine. There's definitely no way that that's wrong. It just there might be something that was slightly better than it, in which case it was actually technically wrong. But you know, we don't have to dwell on that. As broadcasters, everything we do is perfect.
You hear that, Chad? Everything we do is perfect.
Those are the rules. Yep.
Um, hmm. There's block the 16 damage coming in.
Well, you can Fiend Fire and it will block just by. Oh, you don't have Feel No Pain in play.
Yeah, I don't have
Interesting.
in play. Remember, because we opted to take the one out of the sky.
Yeah. So our turn one is this is the drawback of what we done on turn one, but I think it was still worth it to deal with the
So
enemy.
I think just
What's
block.
in your draw pile? Because you know exactly what 5 cards you get next turn.
So I've drawn 3 more off the top, and then armaments.
So you could block and you wouldn't take damage, but you're at 86 out of 88 right now, and you heal for 6 at the end of the fight, so it actually doesn't matter if you take 4 damage from the one on the left. So if you just Fiend Fire the one on the right, that kills it, and then you kill the one on the left with your cards that you're drawing next turn, and you can just see that you're sort of see your way out of the fight. Probably there were lots of ways out of the fight, but that one certainly works. I think Sword Boomerang was more damage than Iron Wave there. I think you could have just
Oh,
killed with like uppercut, Iron Wave, Sword Boomerang too, but it doesn't really matter because we're just fine killing him this turn.
Deal 5 damage to all enemies X times. Oh, X is if you use all of your energy, right?
Yeah, it consumes all of the energy that you have right
So I
now.
could potentially do 20 damage to all enemies.
Mm-hmm.
That seems pretty good.
Whirlwind's a cool card because it's really good on low difficulty and then sort of bad on high difficulty because the difference between killing the enemies outright or leaving them on 5 health and they're attacking you for 50 is really, really big with that card. And so
Mm-hmm.
once the enemies get like slightly stronger, it starts getting much, much worse.
Clash can only be played if every card in your hand is an attack. Deal 14 damage for 0. So I have more attack cards than anything else, but I don't think that's that reliable.
And also, you've got to keep in mind that like Reckless Charge puts a daze in your deck, and Battle Trance draws you a bunch of cards, and
Yeah, okay.
enemies wound you or burn you or whatever.
If the enemy intends to attack, it gains 3 strength. Wow, that seems good too.
Yeah, I would pick that one. We took Limit Break,
Uh,
right? Yeah. So we've got Limit Break,
oh yeah, limit break
Pummel, Sword
buff stat. Yeah,
Boomerang.
okay.
That is a card we've been hoping for.
Merchant.
Yep. 360 gold definitely makes a merchant worth the visit.
All right. Sever Soul. Exhaust all non-attack cards in your hand. Deal 16 damage. Okay. Feed for 1. Sail. Deal 10 damage. If this kills a non-minion enemy, raise your max HP by 3. Exhaust. What is a non-minion enemy?
Have you fought a minion yet? I don't think you've had a minion yet in this run, but there are some enemies who will um, summon extra minions, and then every time that you kill them, they'll like resummon them. It's just like a flag that some enemies have.
Reduce the cost of all cards in your hand to 1 this turn. Wow. So that combos with drawing the 2-1. Okay, yeah. So that combos with the draw 3 card.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let me see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that cost more than 1, and 2 cards that cost 0. But we would never play it with this. So we play this first. So really, they can hit hit 1 card, and then hit. I don't know if that doesn't seem worth it to me.
I have not played Enlightenment very many times in the 3,000 hours that I've played this game. You need to have very specific things going on to want that one.
Shuffle 3 random attacks into your draw pile. They cost 0 this combat. Exhaust. I don't know how good random attacks are. Seems cool. But it's 2 mana, do nothing, which
I love that you said that.
that also combos with
That is exactly what it is.
a 2 mana, do nothing.
Yeah.
All right, Toxic Egg. Whenever you add skill into your deck, upgrade it.
It's go back a bit. It's 2 mana scale a little bit, but the way that it scales is bad. Scaling by putting 0 cost attacks in your deck is just not as good as, for example, right now we can scale by gaining some strength with spot weakness and then playing Limit Break and gaining more strength, and that's just so much better in terms of like winning a fight late in the game than putting 0 cost attacks in our deck.
So Toxic Egg, whenever you add a skill into your deck, upgrade it. So do we have anything that shuffles skill in your deck?
That's whenever you like buy a new skill or take a skill from a.
Oh yeah, it's a relic. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I was still thinking card. Okay. That's kind of so it automatically comes upgraded. So like if we were to buy this, it would be gain whatever block and draw 2 cards.
Yep, like Toxic Egg, Shrug It Off, True Grit would be pretty strong thing to do in the store. Not the strongest thing, I don't think, but it would definitely be a strong thing.
Okay, Vajra, start each combat with one strength. Strength adds an additional damage to attacks. That seems like it's the right play because we have strength cards, the double strength and stuff. So that one seems good. Orange pellets. Whenever you play power, attack, and skill in the same turn, remove all of your debuffs. Okay. Dexterity, steroid, and smoke bomb.
But we
And
can't
then
buy any
card.
potions because of Sozu, unfortunately.
Yeah. Um, I think probably Vajra. That seems like what would be pretty good. Vajra and hmm, I don't know. Is Vajra the right pick?
I'll give you three things that I would do in the store. One of them you can't do because of Sozu, but I'll give you three things that I think are reasonable. Thing number one is Toxic Egg, Shrug It Off, True Grit. And the reason that that's good is that it is representing a belief that Toxic Egg is really, really good because all the skills you get for the rest of the run will be upgraded. And it's giving you a plan to beat Champ because you can use True Grit to exhaust the cards in your deck that aren't basically Limit Break and Sword Boomerang or really good in other reasons. And so over the course of the fight, you get rid of your strikes, you play Limit Break a bunch of times, and you get a ton of strength and kill Champ. So that kills Champ for you, and it gives you upgraded skills for the rest of the run. I think that would be really strong. I think that Vajra, card remove, shrug it off, feed is really strong. Um, feed is great in a strength deck because strength decks have generally got quite a few cards that are dedicated to gaining strength over the course of a fight. And so if you're fighting a boss, sometimes you're not that good at blocking huge attacks that are incoming. But if you have like 100 HP at the start of the boss fight, you can get away with that a little bit better. So that would help build toward our strength thing. That's what I would do right now in this run personally. Another thing that you could do if you didn't have Sozu that would be incredibly strong would be buying orange pellets and steroid potion. Steroid potion gives you 5 strength and then takes it away at the end of the turn, but the thing where you lose 5 strength at the end of the turn is a debuff. So if you drink the steroid potion and play a power attack and a skill on that turn, you keep the strength for the entire rest of the fight. So that's like a golden bullet for any boss fight in the game sort of thing. It just
That's
is super
insane.
strong.
Dude, that sounds amazing. But we
Unfortunately,
can't
you
because
have
of
Sozu.
Sozu.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So probably egg. I feel like that'll go a lot further in the future than starting with strength. And I mean, feed seems good just because it helps grow your life. But I don't know. Feed does seem really good. Hmm. What was the other one you said? Vajra, feed, and shrug it off.
Yeah, and card remove I think you get as well with that buy. So I'd remove a strike as well as doing all that.
Hmm. Hmm. Is there one play that is significantly better than the other one, or are they both pretty similar?
I think they're both very strong. I think that in terms of like win rate, I think both of those are very high win rate, and you're talking about very like less than a couple of percentage points chance to win probably in between the two of them.
I like how you can keep feeding to upgrade your life total. I feel like that's pretty valuable as that line goes. The other line gets you being able to exhaust a card in your hand, so you can kind of target cards that you want to exhaust. Plus, that also triggers the block thing that we have. Um,
Yeah, True Grit with Feel No Pain is super strong for sure. A
hmm.
Toxic Egg actually with Feel No Pain is really strong because a lot of skills in the game have something to do with exhausting, and so all of a sudden instead of getting unupgraded skills, you're going to be looking at upgraded ones, and those are a lot more interesting to put in your deck with Feel No Pain. It's really which one is more interesting to you to find out what it's like to play, I guess.
Probably just I feel like upgrading your HP is just gonna go such a long way.
Let's do it. Yeah, Feed's a lot of fun to play fights with too, because all of a sudden, like sometimes you want to deliberately leave an enemy on like 5 health and not kill it yet, so that you can feed on it. It makes for some really weird turns.
Okay, so Vajra, Feed, True Grit, and card removal.
Click on Vajra and Feed and card remove first, and then I want to see how much gold's left. I don't want to do the math. Definitely remove a strike.
Just a regular.
At this point in the run, instead of killing enemies with strikes, we want to like not play a strike and instead play a limit break, and then in a couple of turns we play sword boomerang and it deals like 60 damage or something. So
We're
you're
8 gold short from getting both, so that feels bad.
yeah, that's rough. Shrug it off draws you into your stuff, and True Grit would sort of need to be upgraded. A problem with True Grit is that it's a random card in your hand. If you upgrade it, it lets you target, but I'm not sure when we'd upgrade it. You want to check the map maybe? I think there's an elite fight before our next campfire. Yeah. So I think because there's an elite fight before our next campfire, probably I go Shrug, just because True Grit's a less valuable card until we upgrade it by quite a bit.
Okay, so
Ooh.
a man with an eye patch and a devilish grin strides up to you. Hey there, stranger. Interested in advancing science? I can make you stronger than any training or blessing. You're gonna need it if you're one of those heroes with the death wish. What do you say? Test Jax, get jaxed. Become test subject. Transform 2 cards. Ingest mutagens. Obtain a special relic. So Jax lose 3 HP, gain 2 strength.
That would be so much stronger if we'd taken the Reaper that we didn't take. Um, it's too bad. It's still a really good card just because of Limit Break and stuff like that. Ingest Mutagens gives you a relic that gives you +3 strength on turn 1, and then at the end of turn 1 it takes it away. That's actually another really strong thing with the orange pellets that we didn't buy, because you can... That's a debuff, just taking the strength away. So if you can remove the debuff on turn 1 with orange pellets, you get to keep the 3 strength for the entire fight. Transforming 2 strikes isn't that bad, but I'd probably get jaxed and, do the strength thing.
So you think Jax is the play?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Did we take Whirlwind?
We did not. We took
Uh-oh.
yeah, we took something else instead.
Oh dear.
Was it spot weakness maybe? Yeah, no.
Well, that is a better card than Whirlwind. Yeah, that makes sense. These are attacking us for a lot, huh? I do not think, even though we have Sozu and we only get 2 potions for the rest of the run, I think that it's quite reasonable to use a strength potion, or not a strength potion, an attack potion here. This fight's very dangerous. You really want to kill the back slaver as quickly as possible. So I'd actually take Carnage instead of Whirlwind, because I'm trying to deal single target damage to the back slaver. And once the back slaver is dead, this fight gets pretty manageable.
Does the back one like heal or something?
He vulnerables you, which is really bad when there are 3 guys attacking you for you to become vulnerable. And he also ensnares you, which stops you from being able to play attacks for a turn. So both of those are really nasty.
So Iron Wave, Carnage.
29, 40.
Feel no pain, defend. Oh, we have 4. Oh, this is 0. Okay. Feel no pain, Iron Wave, Sword Boomerang, and defend because we can't really target. We can't kill anything, right? So this is not worth playing.
I'd start with the Sword Boomerang and see what it hits, because it might let us kill something this turn if we get lucky. Nope. Sword Boomerang has been such a letdown. So Carnage, Iron Wave. Yeah, I think Carnage, Iron Wave, Feel No Pain, Defend is fine. Just on the back one, that's the most threatening of these three.
So Iron Wave in the back.
Yep. All attacks on the back.
So everything but feed to the back.
Yep. Too bad. If the Sword Boomerang hit the front one or the back one twice, we could have killed one of them with feed this turn, but we missed out.
All right, so we can cycle. Do we cycle with Shrugadov first?
Yeah. See what's going on.
Ooh, that seems good.
Seems
so
super
13
good.
block will. They're doing 15. They're doing 22 damage, so it'll block 13 of it. So you probably kill the back one, right? If we reckless charge strike for 11, he's going to be taking 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll die. Yeah.
You exactly block and exactly deal lethal. It's a nice turn. There's a cute thing in this game where he's currently trying to vulnerable you. That's the debuff that's associated with his attack. But if he dies making the attack, he'll still deal damage, but he won't give you the debuff. So you don't get vulnerable there.
Cool.
Oh, we found our strength cards.
Spot weakness, limit break. Oh, I just draw first, right?
Yep.
Ooh, wow. Does this upgrade Jax too?
Yeah, Jax will make you gain 3 strength. So you could play a pummel with 3, 8, 16. You could play a 16 strength pummel this turn. Oh boy.
That seems good, right?
It's going to deal a lot of damage.
Okay, so
You full block as well. That's disgusting.
so armament off the top, right?
Yep.
And then spot weakness, or right?
Spot weakness and Jax first, and then limit break.
Sorry, I was talking to the stream for a second.
No problem. You're okay.
Okay, so spot weakness, right?
Yep. Yeah, you just play limit break after your other strength card since it's doubling your strength when you play it.
Spot weakness on the first guy, right?
It doesn't matter. Just either one as long
Oh,
as they're
because
attacking.
I get it. I see.
Yeah.
Jax limit break.
Yep.
Deal 13 damage 5 times.
Yeah, our deck.
That seems pretty good, actually.
Our deck just went off. That's that's what happens when your deck goes off in this game.
That seems pretty good. And yeah, and I stopped the 7. Okay, seems good.
Okay, so you can probably win this turn. Yeah, you can definitely win this turn. Or you can try to wait until you get feed.
Okay, uppercut Fiendfire?
That would kill, but
Right?
do you want to kill or do you want to wait and try to get
Oh,
through
should we
max
feed?
HP?
Oh yeah, we should try to. Yeah, we should try to feed, huh? So we had 20 cards, draw 5, so we have a 25% chance.
Yeah,
right?
but you don't have to kill him next turn either. He's not dealing that much damage. I think it's very likely that you can feed in this fight. He's just like attacking for 7 every turn, whatever. In fact, yeah, you should definitely be feeding in this fight. Just block and wait until you draw it. Don't play that because it will kill him.
Should I just limit break, right?
If you want, doesn't really matter at this point. 32 strength, basically the same as 16th strength against this enemy with 21 health left.
No, I need feed. Come on.
It's fine though, because actually Carnage has Ethereal, so if you don't play it, it exhausts, and it will block for an extra 3 for you. Plus, like, okay, when you get the 3 max HP, it actually heals you for 3 as well. So even if you took 3 damage waiting to draw feed, it wouldn't even, like, you'd still be net positive.
There it is. 46 damage from 10. 46 damage. Gain 3 HP. It seems pretty good.
You got him.
Okay. So they take 75% more than just 50. Seems pretty good. Explosive potion. Deal 10 damage to all enemies, which we can't get, which kind of sucks. That would be pretty good. Do potions trigger your strength too? Like, would that add strength to it?
No. It's only attacks. So there are relics don't work, and there are some powers that don't work either. And like Flame Barrier doesn't do more damage with strength, for example.
Okay, I see. Okay, so disarm. Enemy loses 2 strength, exhaust. Body slam. Deal damage equal to your block. Wild strike. Deal 12 damage. Shuffle a wound into your draw pile. First glance, my reaction would be to just skip all these.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Maybe body slam.
No. Wrong card.
Oh,
Disarm.
you meant disarm.
Disarm's actually insane.
Okay.
It doesn't look like it's that good, but it's actually insane. There are a lot of enemies that attack you multiple times, and so them having less strength applies multiple times. It also exhausts, so it will block with Feel No Pain.
Oh yeah, true.
And in boss fights where they go for a long time, like 15 turns or something, that's every single turn you're having the enemy attack you for less damage.
Okay, rest and upgrade.
I think you just go upgrade at the campfire, yeah. I wonder what you upgrade at this point. Maybe the good ones are like Battle Trance for a little bit more card draw because we don't have that much of that going on yet. Limit Break is something that would be good to upgrade before the champ fight so that it doesn't exhaust. Feed's okay to upgrade. Disarm's a great upgrade. There are quite a few good ones.
Does feed go
You
to
can
4
click
HP?
on it and it will show you, and then you can
Oh,
cancel
okay.
out.
So deal 12, gain 4. Okay, seems good. So it just doesn't exhaust. So you can just keep doubling your strength. That seems pretty good. This is just an extra card.
I think the thing that our deck is missing the most out of everything is card draw. I think our deck's actually pretty good at everything else. So even though Battle Trance isn't as good an upgrade in general, I wouldn't say it's like the thing that the deck needs, in my opinion. So I'd probably pick Battle Trance here.
Yeah, just drawing an extra card is pretty good, huh?
And we're at a 23 card deck now, so it's starting to get to the point where if we want a card, it could take like 4 turns to see it, unless we're doing something to help us draw it.
Malleable. Upon receiving attack damage, gains 3 block. Gain is increased as malleable is triggered. Resets to 3 at the start of your turn. So whenever I attack it, it just gets 3 block.
And then it goes to 4 the next time you attack it, and 5 the next time you attack it, and 6 the next time you attack it, and then resets at the start of the next turn.
Okay.
Doesn't matter very much if you attack it for 60 with 1 attack, though, for what it's worth.
He's going to attack for 21, so 7 damage 3 times. Is that what that means?
Yeah, and this is immediately an example of why Disarm's so good, because Disarm on this turn makes it a 5x3, and it's a 5x3 for the entire rest of the fight. We don't have Disarm in our hand, but it would be nice.
So... Armaments... Flame Barrier, shrug it off?
Does Armament's Flame Barrier already block for enough? Is it 20...
Oh, yeah, it does. You're right. Yeah,
23
it would, right?
So you could play Limit Break instead of Shrug It Off. Just got 1 strength going. Get things started.
So drawing the card is pointless because it'll just get shuffled in, right?
Yeah, we won't be able to play it anyway.
Okay.
Thanks for the 23-month sub, Kyokugal. Ankbomushu to you as well. Much appreciate all the support.
Spot weakness. Disarm Iron Wave. Is Jaxworth playing right now? You just deal 2 damage or 3 damage yourself for no reason, really, right? Or I guess we do Jax first if we're gonna do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right that we don't have to play Jax in this fight. Now that we've drawn Disarm, especially. Just like Spot Weakness, Disarm, Iron Wave seems fine. And then we're going to try to wait until we draw Feed to kill it, I guess. Is that the plan? Might take some damage against this enemy trying to do that.
Well, should we save Disarm before we can upgrade it?
No,
or should we just do it now?
That's too slow.
All right.
You can actually save Feed until you have it upgraded if you want to go absolutely crazy. Just keep waiting until you draw it and armaments together. Not in this fight, though. This enemy will deal too much damage to us. It's a nasty debuff coming our way. I'd just like set it up so that you can kill it if you need to bail out with 1 attack, and then after that I'd try to wait until I drew Feed.
So bash. Does this trigger? Does malleable trigger upon receiving attack damage? So this will trigger it 3 times.
And it triggers after the card plays. So if you play Sword Boomerang, it will get 12 block after Sword Boomerang finishes.
Wow. I honestly don't know how to play this. I don't know what the right play is.
You just have to like do some sort of math and work. Okay, there are 2 options. You can deliberately do math to try to work out how to leave the enemy at like 10 HP or something. That's fine. Or you can just sort of click on cards and try to get it close to 10 HP by clicking on cards, which is what I would usually do while streaming. I've gotten to the point where I've done the clicking on cards thing a lot, so I tend to get pretty close to what I'm trying to get to. Plus, you don't have to do math, which is great. You got Paper Frog. Keep that in mind, so the vulnerable hits even harder than usual. 14 times 3, 42. That's too much. 12, that won't kill.
Hey. There we go. No math involved.
Well, we didn't get defeat on it, but we did kill it.
Okay, Thunderclap Plus. Oh, you can get upgraded cards from fights.
Yes, starting in Act 2, you have a 25% chance that any card you see in a fight reward will be upgraded, and then in Act 3, it goes up to 50% chance. So that's one reason that it can be really good to try to hold off on adding cards to your deck in Act 1. If you can get away with sort of holding off, you can start to see upgraded cards instead later on and end up with like a stronger deck on average.
Okay, so deal 7 to all and apply 1 vulnerable to all. Choose an attacker power card. Add a copy of that card to your hand. Gain 8 block. Draw a card. Dual wield seems pretty strong.
Dual wield's sweet. I'm not sure we have support for it. We can't really guarantee that we draw it with a card that we'd want to copy. Like dual wielding feed though, so that you can eat like 3 enemies in a fight instead of one is really really cool. And dual wielding feel no pain's pretty cool, so you can get multiple copies of that. It doesn't fit in with our current scaling plan, which is to get a ton of strength. It doesn't really help us do that. So it's sort of a cool card that can do cool things but doesn't exactly match up with the things that we're trying to do. Also, I think that like you can never have too many shrug it offs at low difficulty slay the spire probably. It's probably impossible to have too many of that card, so I would just click that every time.
Shrug it off.
Yeah, the card's just really good.
Yeah, it's just cycle. Every time you play 3 skills in a single turn, deal 5 damage to all enemies. Okay.
And now it deals damage. Oh, that's really
Enemies
good.
in elite combats have 25% less HP. Wow, that seems good too. Let's go. Is there a way to get rid of relics?
To get rid of them, there's one event in
We
the
get
game where somebody offers you to trade a relic. Other than that, they're with you for the rest of the run.
okay. So a fight or an unknown? What do you think?
I'd definitely go event.
You what?
I would definitely go for an event, yeah. Which is a fight anyway, it turns out.
Okay. So sorry, my dog is playing with her toy right in front of us. Shut up, go
It's okay.
downstairs.
She sounds like she's having fun. I'm.
She is. She rips the squeakers out of toys and she just plays with the squeakers and it's like the most annoying thing in the
Oh
world.
my god. Oh no. I'm like right next to a dog park, so I like have dogs barking outside, and then I've got your dog on the. I'm a dog person though. I feel very very comfy, surrounded by canines.
Okay. Hmm. Wow, seems like a pretty bad hand.
I would honestly just Fiend and Fire the one in front and then go to the next turn. Like, yeah, those cards aren't very good and don't do very much. But now they're not in your deck anymore for a while. Oh, and then you get to feed. Oh, you can upgrade it and then feed. Beautiful.
So yeah, armaments feed,
Yeah.
and then flame barrier or feel no pain iron wave.
I think Feel No Pain Iron Wave. And I guess it doesn't matter for this turn, but you could have gone Feel No Pain before the feed and you would have gotten a little bit more block. This turn looks good for the Feel No Pain. We got 2 cards here that exhaust. This is we talked about this right at the start, right? That like there are just a lot of cards that exhaust, so even if
Mm-hmm.
you're not really thinking about it, you just sort of end up with a lot of them.
So uppercut, pummel, disarm.
Yep. And unfortunately that's quite a lot of damage incoming, but yeah. Did our best. You might have wanted to shrug before Battle Trance that turn. You also might not have. I don't know. It's worth pointing out that it was a thing to think about because now when you shrug, you can't draw more cards this turn after Battle Trance gets played.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh man, I forgot. I forgot there's a downside to that card. It's not just draw 4 cards for nothing.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that was my fault for being hasty. So Jack's Limit Break, Sword Boomerang,
It seemed like
Reckless
a
Charge,
really good
Defend
start.
Plus.
Yeah, Jack's Limit Break Sword Boomerang seems like it must be a good way to begin the turn.
Reckless Charge, Defend.
I think you could just not play Reckless Charge maybe, because you don't really want to draw a Daze next turn. You could also just play Reckless Charge, I guess. I don't know. Picking 2 or 3 of these cards at random seems fine. There was a correct play there, but it's just such a small difference. And I'm not sure which one it was.
So he's at 21. So I just kill him, right?
Yeah, and we don't have feed anymore because it exhausts when you play it, so there's no reason to wait for that. Oh, it's over. Oh, it's over.
Whirlwind with
No, no,
strength.
no, 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 no. Next one.
Reaper. So deal 4 damage with strength and heal for that much. That seems good, yeah.
Yeah, so if you have like 30 strength, all of a sudden you're healing for like 100 health against an AoE fight.
Cool. The elite, right?
Yep, I think Elite or the left path with the campfire both seem completely fine to me. The Elite's probably more fun. This is my favorite fight in the game, actually.
They just we have that relic that they just take damage.
Yep.
Seems
It
good.
also makes them 25% smaller, like the actual icons. So if you had played a lot of this game,
Does it really?
yeah, like they're tiny. Unfortunately, it doesn't pitch up the voice acting on them. That would be like,
Oh, it'd be so good if they had just had higher voices.
yeah.
Okay. Battle Trance first.
Yep. Start with Battle Trance and go from there for sure. Oh gosh.
Good spot weakness. Reaper. No, I don't need to heal yet. Spot weakness. Limit break.
I think I like Spot Weakness Limit Break Reaper. So Spot Weakness Limit Break's gonna deal 5 damage from Letter Opener too, so that will be enough to clear everything. I think that will clear all the minions if you go Spot Weakness Limit Break Reaper. And you can't feed on these ones because these ones are the minions that we were talking about.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was looking at feed. I was like, should I just feed? But okay. So spot weakness first, right?
Yep.
Limit break. Or no?
Yeah, I'd Limit Break for sure.
Limit break would give me 8.
8 strength is more than enough for this fight. Oh, it doesn't kill the wizard. Well, I guess he lives for next turn then. Because we just got 8 strength on turn 1 and our deck has attacks in it, we're not like going to draw a feed again in this fight probably. The enemy is pretty dangerous. We're probably just gonna kill him. So thinking about stuff like saving Reaper for later, it's just our deck's too strong, sort of. Like there isn't a later, we're gonna kill them too fast.
Sure, okay. So armaments?
Yep. And then like kill the wizard with the attack that deals less damage and attack Gremlin Leader with the other one, I guess. Oh, no, that's wrong. The thing I just said was definitely wrong.
So the wizard, the lowest attack I have is Reckless Charge?
You wanna
Iron Wave?
You wanna actually kill the wizard with Letter Opener here. because it deals 5 damage to the gremlin leader as well.
Oh, I actually play 3 skills. Okay, so I have 2 more skills. So defend, flame bear.
Yeah. And then you can still reckless charge, but this way you get to deal 23 damage to gremlin leader, which is 5 more than you were going to. The way I was saying that you should do it. Oh, that guy is so dead. Wow.
Fiend. So fiend fire. So 15, 30. So 60.
Yeah, but sword boomerang and pummel both deal 30 plus themselves.
Oh yeah. Never mind. That's a yeah. Yeah, he's it says 40. Good lord. So what you're saying is strength is good.
Yeah, once you get 8 strength on turn 1, a lot of a lot of your cards are pretty good at that point.
The rest of the fight seems like it's gonna be pretty good. Pawn pickup, upgrade 2 random attacks.
So you want to check the card reward first before you click on that.
That's right. Combust. At the end of your turn, lose 1 HP and deal 5 damage to all enemies. Deal 9 damage. Put a card from your discard pile on top of your draw pile. Iron Wave. Gain 7 block, deals 7 damage.
I love the flavor of headbutt. Like, is the implication that he's remembering things by hitting someone with his head?
Possibly. He's just like headbutting and then like, oh yeah, there's this too. Forgot about this. I can do this now. Probably headbutt, right?
I like headbutt a lot with limit break and also feed, like getting to choose when we draw those.
Ooh, Reaper Plus is good. Reckless Charge Plus. I don't know. I didn't see what it did. Reckless Charge Plus. Deal 10 damage. Oh, okay. 0 mana, 10 damage is pretty good.
Yeah, just a little bit more damage on those.
Venturing through a series of tombs, you are faced with a large sarcophagus studded with gems in the center of a circular room. You cannot make out the writing on the coffin. However, you do notice a black fog seeping out from the sides. Obtain a relic, 50% chance to become cursed. Wraith. What does Wraith do? Oh, innate means it starts in your hand, right?
Yeah, so you have a curse in your turn 1 and every fight. It's a pretty bad curse. Because turn 1's very important. It is the first turn of every fight, after all.
So just leave then?
Or do I gamble? Fine. I think that it's okay to go for the relic here, but your deck is so strong that there's just no good reason to take that risk. It's hard to imagine relics that you could get that would really help out all that much for fights that you don't already win anyway. This is a fun fight. The Snecko. You're going to get confused and all of your cards are going to start costing random amounts.
Really?
Yeah. This fight can be really nasty if you're trying to build like a combo deck with a bunch of 0 costs.
I mean, neither of these even do anything, right?
That's correct. You could have played both of them and procced Letter Opener for 5 damage, but you wouldn't have been able to play Pummel, so...
Oh, so all of the spells cost different.
Yep. It's just completely random whenever you draw them.
That kind of sucks, to be honest. 3 mana feed. 1 mana.
The next time that you draw them, though, it will be different again. So it won't be 3 every time, probably.
Okay, so let's just shrug it off and see what we get, right?
Yep.
Ooh, 0 mana bash. Let's go. Seems good. Disarm to bring him down to 13 attack.
Plus you got Feel No Pain in play, remember? So that will block for 4 for you as well when you play it.
And strike.
Good turn.
Yep. 13 damage again. So shrug it off. Draw. Oh man, 0 mana Reaper is gross. Exhaust. I could sort of do 8. He's vulnerable, 75% more damage.
Oh yeah, because of Paper Frog. I forgot about that actually. You
So
can click on Fiendfire and hover over him, and it will show you exactly how much the vulnerable is doing now. See, it says 14.
oh,
So it does that math for you if you want.
I think somebody in chat said that. Somebody from your stream was over here telling me that you can hover over, but I wasn't sure what he meant.
They're trying to help.
They're trying to help. They're being nice
I,
kids.
I think I
All
just
right,
go
so
Reaper
sword
Fiendfire.
sword sword boomerang. Oh, you think a Reaper Fiend Fire?
Yeah, just like play the strong ones. Blow them up.
Fiend Fire?
Ah.
All right.
Feels like he'll be dead soon, right? He's got 26 health.
Hmm.
Worst case here is you like battle trance and then defend, I think, and you still don't take any damage. But battle trance could get you something a lot better. Oh yeah, it definitely did. Yeah, and I just flame barrier. You could. Oh, don't play that. Oh, do play that. Well then.
Yeah, I figured I was healing for 6 anyway, so
Fair
it didn't
enough.
matter.
Styling on him. I like it. I was gonna say that you could choose to just tank the damage and try to get a feed off there if you wanted.
Oh yeah, go after feed. Yeah, I probably should have done that.
It is like 13
I keep,
damage,
I
which
keep
is quite a
forgetting we
bit.
have feed. If I'm being totally honest with you, I keep forgetting that feed is a card we picked.
It's tricky to get away from, like, in every other card game pretty much your mindset is win the game and then I'm done, and it doesn't matter how I win the game. But in Slay the Spire there's this thing where in every fight, by the time you're halfway through the run, quite often there are a lot of different little things that care about how you win each fight. So you have to start thinking about, like, do I want to delay this fight and sacrifice some health to get my feed to go off, or maybe to wait till I draw Reaper so I can actually heal more or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. That's one thing. You think playing card games, you think I would be a little more strategic about, like, okay, I need to do this, think this far ahead, but that's where my weakness comes in card games is I don't think far enough ahead to where I'm like, okay, maybe not this turn or next turn, but 2 turns down the line, 3 turns down the line, this will set me up for a better play. Like that's what I think separates the good players from just the average player. And I think I'm aware of it. I don't always put it into practice.
Yeah, I think it's tons of experience and practice. Like, it's not something that you can just know how to do know how to do straight away, or even know how to do very easily. It's something that people have to like work really hard to pick up, in my experience at least.
um Whirlwind.
I like Whirlwind. I think it's fine. Deal some AoE damage for us. I don't think we ever got AoE damage, did we? We've got like a letter opener that deals AoE damage,
I
technically.
got Reaper too, right?
Oh yeah, Reaper too.
Smith.
I'd go for a limit break so that you can just scale up your deck and have it be completely insane. And if you play limit break like 3 times in this fight, you're gonna deal so much damage.
420. He has 420 health.
Yeah, just a random number that the devs who are Seattle based and released the game around the
A
time that
completely,
pot
a
was
completely,
legalized. Just a random number that they
completely.
chose.
Yeah, just a totally random number, not relevant to anything at
Yeah.
all.
No, I imagine
Just
they were up late on a Friday night just thinking about the game, maybe relaxing a little bit with just thinking. Um,
all right. So I should headbutt because then I'm guaranteed to put battle trance on top, right?
I'd limit break and then headbutt limit break actually.
You'd headbutt limit break.
Yeah, I just play limit break a ton.
But I mean, my strength's only 1.
Well, it will be 2 the next time you play it. Or also, you can like draw your spot weakness or your jacks next turn along with the limit break.
So you think limit break's a better idea?
Yeah, I think that's great.
And then flame barrier.
Flame Barrier certainly wins the fight. You could also go Feel No Pain Pummel. That will remove 2 cards from your deck, basically, because Pummel will be gone forever and Feel No Pain will be gone forever, which makes it easier to draw and play Limit Break.
To a reckless charge, or I wait? Do I
Nah,
save
I
it?
wouldn't bother.
Save it
Champ
till it's vulnerable.
Champ has this special thing where once he goes below half health, he enrages and starts doing some pretty intimidating attacks. But while he's above half health, he doesn't really do very much. So in this fight, often you just sort of deliberately don't deal damage to him very fast while you scale up, and then you just kill him all at once. So that's why I'm suggesting playing the limit breaks so often, basically. Too bad that wasn't a spot weakness. Yeah.
Do we save limit break until we get? Oh, I guess we discard our hand. So just play limit break, right?
Yeah, play like limit break, armaments, disarm.
Spot weakness first, right?
I'd shrug first, I
Or
guess.
see what you get. Yeah. Okay.
Go spot weakness, jacks, defend, defend. Seems fine. You've got a Reaper in the deck too, so you can heal all of this health that you're taking in damage back pretty easily. I wouldn't play the Reaper yet. I'd just like uppercut him. I'm having fun, Brad.
So
I'm gonna.
he's doing a debuff next turn. Is there like the same debuff that he plays, or is it kind of random?
I think it's. I think it's frail and vulnerable again when it's that icon. He does have a different sort of debuff he can do as well that weakens you, but I don't think it's that one. I don't remember. It honestly doesn't matter that much. I've fought the champ a lot of times. Okay, that was the vulnerable and weakened. Well, there you go.
Do you ever miss playing when it was this easy?
No, I got really frustrated when I got up to like more than 90% win rate because I just felt like so much of the time I wasn't really, it didn't matter anymore. Like I was just clicking whatever
Yeah.
cards and I was going to win. So for me, when they released the Ascension modes and then Ascension 20 came out and then Act 4 came out as well, that was just so much fun for me. I've been playing the game a lot more since then.
It's awesome. Um, armaments spot weakness.
Yeah, armament spot weakness, and then you have so much damage you could deal now, but it's not even like necessary. You can just play to defend, and if you play limit break and headbutt it and then play limit break again, you'll be able to one-shot him with one attack, just about.
So 4 times 12, so it'll do 48 damage. That doesn't bring him below half, does it?
Plus the vulnerable, so another lots actually.
Oh, 21. So 21 times 4, so that's 84.
But keep in mind too
84.
that you've got like Uppercut in your deck, which can weaken him, which you might want to play, and you've got Iron Wave, which can give you block, which you might want to play. So keeping him having some extra health before he splits, or before he goes below half health rather, can be valuable.
Okay. So battle trance
Yes.
into any. Do I have any more attack buffing stuff other than limit break? So limit break.
Yep.
Flame barrier. So I can't one shot him yet, right? So this is 51. 44,
You're pretty close to being able to one-shot him, but not quite yet.
44 3 times is still not enough. Feet. So Flambear defend.
Sure. If you did start attacking him now, you'd win the fight just fine. And you heal fully at the end of the act, so it would be completely fine to do that. There's no actual reason that you have to do the
Yeah, but
thing
you
where you're
scared
limit
me when you
breaking
said
nonstop.
you bring him to half health and then scary things
Yeah, but you'd
happen.
still be fine. Maybe it would even be more fun to see the scary thing, but then still win. You can like headbutt,
Let's.
shrug, limit break, reckless charge. You're gonna have 52 strength when you play that reckless charge. It's gonna be pretty good. I guess you can Jax as well if you want. So play Shrug It Off first, and you'll draw the limit break that you just put on top.
And then Jack's limit break.
Sure. Oh, I guess the one thing we're not doing is we're not feeding right now.
So
If you
shrug it
wanted
off.
to, you could spend some extra time in this fight and get a feed off. But I think. What are your 5 cards left? Oh. uh, yeah, okay. You should probably kill him next turn then. That seems fine.
So reckless charge.
Yep.
So healing doesn't matter, right? Because I'm gonna heal no matter what.
Yeah, healing doesn't matter at all.
So just, he just loses.
He's dead. I actually have to run and get dinner. We're like halfway through the run-ish. Act 3 usually takes more time than the first 2 acts do. We're a little bit over halfway through the run. I don't know if you would rather finish the run yourself or if you'd want to finish it another time. Also, did our call just drop? I can't hear what you're saying anymore for some reason.
Hello.
Hey, I heard that. Is his internet out right now, chat? I can go to his channel and check. His stream is down. Well, it's sort of fortunately timed because I was going to go grab dinner anyway. How does squad streaming work? I don't actually know, really. This is the second time I've done it, but I've never actually looked to see what it's doing. I've just had somebody else invite me to a squad stream and said yes. How do I like finally being able to sit down? Oh, it's really nice. So
Hello.
Hey, you're back. Your internet just explode?
Jorbs, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, I'm muted though. I'm here. I'm here. Sorry. I had my mic
Sorry.
muted.
No, my internet is I don't know what has been happening lately, but the past couple days it's been like fully just cutting out. So I might have to look into a new service provider, which is super annoying, and I'm sorry. But no, I'd rather finish the run whenever you're free to keep it going if you're down for that.
Okay, maybe we could do later this week or same time next Monday or something. I don't know what your schedule's like, but we can talk about that
For
later.
sure.
Yeah.
Dude, hey, thank you so much for all the advice today, man. I seriously learned so much about this game. Like I've always liked this game. I just never really spent time learning it the way that I should, you know?
Yeah, and I think that like the way that you're learning it like you should while I'm talking you through it, I think that's really valuable for people to be able to see. I think there are a lot of people who enjoyed watching this, and I'll try to get it out on YouTube too, so that People can see that who are new to the game.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I don't have a I don't have any YouTube account or anything, but I'll definitely promote it some if you get it up and stuff.
Sweet,
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, dude, I appreciate you taking the time out to teach me. I know you could have been playing and streaming yourself, and to go back to the beginner stage is not necessarily what you might have wanted to do, but yeah, I did learn a lot, man. It was cool, and I know my stream was stoked on seeing a new game. I'm sure they're kind of bored of Hearthstone and Overwatch by now. They're probably like, all right, see something new. So, um, but yeah, for my stream, for those of you that don't know, Jorbs is a teammate on Fate to Karma. He streams this game and knows everything about it. And he's the best way to learn. So if you guys are interested in this game or not, if you want to just go hang out on his stream, go check him out. Recently changed his name. It used to be JOINRBS, right? And now it's
Yeah,
just JORBS.
it's just Jorbs now.
Yeah. So go check it out, guys. He's it's good times, and he's a fellow musician. Not currently a screamer like me, but he does other stuff. So check him out for sure.
Cool. Well, thanks for that plug, Vigil.
Yeah,
And
dude. Thank you again for setting this up, dude.
I will talk to you again soon.
All right, cool. Take care, man.
See ya.